Welcome to J is for Justice podcast. If live breaking news and following true crime is your thing, then please consider subscribing to my channel. And if you like what you see in my videos, please consider giving them a thumbs up. Good morning, everybody. It is Thursday, February the 1st. Can you believe it? Can you believe it's February? Good morning. I hope you guys are all doing good. We just gained access into the courtroom. Thank you for those pre-gaming super chats, too. That's awesome. Thank you guys so much. All right, let's get this going because they are live in the courtroom, but no sound quite yet. So let's see what happens today, right? Yesterday we had, she's the sugar plum fairy. She's wearing plum today, guys. I just spoiled it. We always see her jacket first. we see her jacket and we're like, what's she wearing?
Zoom into the seal, cut the mics, anything for you, try anything.
So good morning. Good morning. February the 1st. We have 29 days in February. 20, you get an extra day this month. Oh, let's see. I think I put a new... Oh, hey, Scott H. Scott H. Let's see.
Why were you telling her not to fuck herself?
There's the one from Shannon yesterday. Why did you tell her to go F herself?
Jennifer loves horses.
But I think I got my Scott H. sound bites back. Welcome in, welcome in. Oh, what color will Jennifer be wearing from Amazon? Oh, what color Amazon tank top? Okay, I'm gonna guess because Shannon is picking out Jennifer's clothes. It's gonna be some wild color because like Jennifer looks like the black, white, gray type wearer, judged on her office attire. Jammers is here so early. Oh, we do have audio. I guess it would help if I put my headphones on. I'm such an airhead in the morning sometimes.
Yeah, you know what?
Good morning, Quitty. Good morning, everybody. Let me... Right when I turned on my camera, the sound went off. Let's turn that off again. It didn't come back. They muted us. Stacy says her lover snitched her ass out yesterday. He literally said, I was afraid of the affair coming out, not anything about losing his job. Yeah, and they actually did follow up with him. And he said they were not pressuring him. So Jennifer's going to be wearing the Amazon tank top. I'm calling. If she puts her client in red, I'll shit. I'm guessing. What's up, Karchi? I'm guessing she's going to be wearing a charcoal gray outfit today. Sound check. Oh, there's Ashley. She runs her ass for me, says Shannon. She's a rock star. Good morning. Good morning, Shell. Good morning, Olive. Good morning, Kendi. Mandy. Jay. Texas Ranger. The kitten. The kitten RN has such a soft name. And yesterday she's like, I have had it. Even Kitten was losing it. So I'm still working on the studio. It's coming along nicely. I don't know if you guys can tell, but while we're watching this, I'm actually working a little bit on the walls and stuff. So good to see you, Midge. It's the Midgester. Shannon leaves lipstick on coffee cups. No, Shannon leaves lipstick on bar cups. She's wearing plum and floral. FYI. Prosecution did not rest. I think we left with, let's see who was on the stand yesterday. Angie B coming in hot with a membership gift, and it looks like Crime and Crochet got it. Thank you, Angie, so much. Coming in hot. Like a fajita. I go with the flow. Oh, God. That short just cracks me up. We had William Creer from the Detroit Forensics up yesterday. I don't know who's going to be first. Was he still on the stand? Or was he done? Cup of Curiosity podcast says, hope today goes well. Yeah. I agree, Quinny. It's annoying. Shell is hiding in her office today. She doesn't want to work. She doesn't want an adult. She doesn't want to have to babysit. Let's put it that way. Oh, we've got some audio. I hear the judge. You guys can go back in chambers and have some donuts. Like a fajita. Yeah, him. I wonder how it went with her lover when he went home last night. I think he's had some conversations, but did he? Like, did he think it was ever going to come out, or did he think that was their little secret and he could just move on? I mean, his life might have been really changed last night. Who knows?
Yeah.
This is Shannon's whiny soundbite.
Everyone's get treated like scum.
Licorice. I'm going to send you back to chambers and have some licorice, donuts. What else do we have back there? Snacks. Just go eat some snacks. Like they just got done eating lunch 20 minutes before. And I just ran out of coffee cream this morning too, which is a bummer. I know. I have to have soup. It's the only thing that goes down my esophagus. I don't think that was Mega though. Mega should be green. I don't think that was Mega. Schmicky. I bet he was hoping on it not, because public and his face being shown. Now we all know who her lover was and confirmed it. So now his wife has to live with the world knowing too. And so does his job. Like maybe his job didn't know. Because he's a firefighter. Like you have to be able to trust firefighters, guys. So I'm not sure what could happen if his job found out that he was romping on the clock. I mean, when you're a firefighter, you're an employee of the county or the city. You're an employee of the people and their tax dollars. So you're held to kind of a different standard than if you hold a private job. So that's probably why his job was being talked about in the interviews. She said she had gallbladder surgery, but who knows what she had. She also said she had something with her esophagus. A stent. Shannon says she has a stent in her esophagus. Snuffleupagus. In the prosecution, yes, Brenda, the prosecution hinted she had several lovers. It wasn't just him. I agree, Midge. They did not say what city he worked for, but I have to imagine he worked close because he was picking her up from work, driving over to Costco, having sex, and then dropping her back off an hour later, according to her coworker. And she told her coworker that she was seeing someone, and that's where she goes in the mornings when he picks her up. So she would come into work, turn the lights on, set her stuff down, act like she was there doing something, and then leave, get picked up, go to Costco, romp, and then come back to work and go on her day. You can't make it up. So if he works in that vicinity, and now the people of Oxford and that county or whatever township he works for, I don't know. Would you want a firefighter? Would you want your tax dollars paying a firefighter who's romping with Jennifer Crumbley on the clock? Think about it. It's just like a cop. If a cop gets caught romping and doing things while they're working, right? Yeah, she said she'd be gone for like an hour. Dude's got some stamina. Lisa's stuck on the hour. She's like, damn, for an hour? The fuck? Right, and her son's at home killing birds and writing his to-do list and planning a kidnapping of a fellow student. Here comes Jennifer. I got a new entrance song for Jennifer, besides the jingle jangle. Yeah, I mean, these people in these towns aren't going to want this dude who was romping with Jennifer Crumbley on their team. How can you count on someone like that? He's a clown. He took advantage of his position and the flexibility of it. So I'm sure his job was hung over his head. I can imagine. Especially if he's deleting messages and lying. And he did. He lied. So things could get a little dicey for him. Oh, hot mic. Shannon's talking to the male prosecutor. I think they're gonna
Taking a light reading.
Oh, Drake was at the door. We can't have cameras at that door.
Usually they bring the defendant in first.
Yeah, that's what I'm
oatmeal. Mandy.
Yeah, no, we know.
He could be, Cheryl.
No.
I get it. You gotta do it.
Okay.
We're too deep in with ex-snappers.
Oh,
Are you leaving the camera set up like this for the day?
if I could, yes.
Well, this would have been just for the news, so.
Yeah, that's what I was hoping. That way my legs would stay away from any trip hazards.
One
So,
deputy I know who was. His head is famous.
What's that?
He's got a famous head now
Oh.
for citizens. But I think I've seen him 3 times.
Good morning, Global. Welcome on in. Come on in. Hi, Angie. Everybody come on in. Get comfortable. We're about to start. You haven't missed anything yet. It is day 6 of Jennifer Crumbley. Tomorrow's Friday and day 7. Holy crap.
I see it.
Danielle coming in
I
hot.
see it. Yeah.
Gifting one
I had
membership.
that, so.
Let's see who the lucky recipient is. Katie Orwig. Welcome, Katie. Thank you so much, Danielle. Coming in hot with a membership like a fajita. Danielle came in hot like a fajita this morning. A breakfast fajita. I just heard a really deep sigh. That's probably the prosecutor. We're at 95,111 subscribers, guys. We are on the road to 100K. If you're not subscribed, please do so. I don't know, Mandy. I don't have a lunchtime plan yet. I guess it depends on what happens this morning. I don't have a lunchtime plan. Absolutely, Danielle. Thank you for being here. Dawn went in the Facebook rabbit hole last night on Shannon, her kids, her esophagus, and her new BMW. Oh, Lord. Mary Mack, I watched the last part of yesterday on replay. Is it me or is Shannon obsessed with the affair? My God, she went on and on about it. She was literally just...
Make sure you can still put your driver on the bench so be ready to move quick if you have to. They're just confirming it right now. This bench is supposed to keep open. I just want to make sure you're not completely blindsided. They say,
Okay.
Just kind of be ready.
Okay.
What? Not completely blindsided. So you can get out. What?
I would do one short leg and two.
Yeah.
Just let me know if you need
Yeah.
more time.
Remember, you can take pictures of the jury today. It's allowed. Everyone.
Stop it.
Close-ups.
Stop it.
Close-ups.
You're not funny. And move out of my shot because she could walk in.
I think it's the cameraman talking to the bailiff. No pictures of the jury today. They accidentally showed a juror yesterday. I don't get these cameramen, man. This is all they do. It's court TV. That's all they do, and they still can't manage not to get the fucking jury on camera? What's up with that?
Trust me, the other station.
He just muted us. Oh, we're back. This is crazy. Meg P coming in hot. Like a fajita. Gifted 5 memberships. Wow. Thank you, Meg P. I told you that wasn't our Megs. Blessed Light. Lady K. Kitten. Aurora. Kappa. You guys are all members now. Thank you so much, Megs. That is so nice of you. Y'all look great in green.
Okay, thanks, Captain.
Blessed Light said, I got the membership. Let's go.
Yesterday, he had to move back to move his camera over.
Oh, listen.
Part of the jury room.
Right.
So, I need you to move it back to this room.
So this room?
Yeah.
Everything.
Sorry. I know it's painful.
I know. I'm not that guy. I'll let you know. Yeah, just gotta give me a minute.
Oh, my goodness. Cameraman. My ears. Y'all look great in green, and you're going to look great in Discord, too. Join our Discord if you're a member now. Okay, we can see the jury box, yo. What is he doing? Oh, Mandy Joe on point with the oatmeal. Is he falling down? Jennifer has the same ponytail as yesterday. Mandy Joe. Mandy Joe's on Shannon's level with the oatmeal. And if we meet those 2 goals there, we're almost at the member goal. If we meet the super chat goal, I've got a wireless doorbell camera with a chime and some wireless earbuds to give away tomorrow. Everybody who donates or donates memberships or becomes a member is going to be on the wheel, and we're going to spin that wheel. Damn, Meg P coming in hot like a fajita with 5 more. Is there even 5 more to give away? Yes, there is. Christina, Maquita, Justin, and the other Megs, and Dandy. Welcome, guys. Y'all look wonderful in green. Look at the back of Jennifer's head. It's bedhead. Coming in hot like a fajita. Thank you so much, Megs. We need some turkeys for Megs. And since we didn't get the entrance for Jennifer, this was Jennifer's entrance song. We'll play it now.
Roly poly, daddy's little Betty. Betty's gonna be a man someday.
Thank you so much, you guys. What's up, Doug? Welcome to the chat, Doug. Shannon can hardly get her own hair clipped in. Now you're one of us, Megs. I'm like, that's not our Megs. Now you're our Megs. We got Meg P and Megs. We do need a like a fajita. Coming in hot. Jay's whole chat isn't green yet. I know, green and blue. Brenda Redmond, she's got a cot knot. Look how greasy. Oh, Shannon, make sure your client is showered.
Just based on my observations, her hair was very greasy.
She thinks those little pieces make her look prettier, more feminine. Just in case, welcome. Welcome, everybody. It is Letitia Strands. She's got the Letitia Strands. Ooh, they're zooming in on that client too, aren't they? On the defendant. Oh, you're the OG Megs. Well, welcome back, girl. Thanks for making yourself known. Techni Girl says no shampoo in jail. No, she just chooses not to use it. Schmicky coming in hot with $10 super chat. Thank you, Schmicky. We get to that yellow, get the yellow bar all the way across. We met our member goal, guys. We met our member goal. That's awesome. Thank you so much, guys. Jennifer is 50, I think. She's my age. Me and Jennifer are the same age, and we're both Jennifer Lynn. We're both Jennifer Lynns. That's why you get one Jennifer or two Jennifers. Because you're getting two Jennifers. And this is for my peeps in the D. Wine, Crime, and Mayhem coming in hot. Joining the membership. If you are a member, you can come in Discord and join our Discord. We have so much going on there. We've got some Super Bowl party coming up. We're going to be doing crime from the two cities of the Super Bowl, and we have Super Bowl squares. So we'll have the game on, watching the score, so we can win some money. But we're going to be talking true crime from the two cities that are in the Super Bowl. And that's going to be in Discord. Sarah Smith coming in hot. Here we go, guys. Let the shit show begin. We are all here.
do have something I need to ask. I'm sorry. Sorry.
Sorry, she's already apologizing.
You're what the French call les incompetents.
Your Honor, calling People v. Jennifer Crumbley, case number 22-279990-FH.
Good morning, Your Honor. Karen McDonald appearing on behalf of the people.
Thank you, Mark Keese on behalf of people.
And good morning, Your Honor. Shannon Smith on behalf of Jennifer Crumbley.
We're all here. I didn't go.
Okay, my question, I'm asking the court when there's an objection, if we can all slow down, and if I'm objecting to the prosecutor making these speeches on the record that go in front of the jury.
Well, what speeches are you talking about?
Yesterday, during the questioning, when Brian Malouche was up, the prosecution, when they would object, they would start to just say,
Well, I guess the first thing, and you guys, in the heat of battle, people forget this, even though they know it, that you can't make a record if people are talking at one time. But there should be a legal objection and a response to it. Things kind of went sideways yesterday because I think that the prosecution was saying to you, Ms. Smith, you may have opened the door. I think it's already open. Are we going there? So I think their intention was to warn you, stop you, or let you know that if you were going to go there, they were going to go there. So I really think the prosecution was making a statement or interrupting you for the purpose of wanting to comply with my order excluding certain evidence. So, things got a little crazy yesterday. So.
Your Honor, I believe it was beyond that issue and it was on other questions. And I'm going to tell the court, I did the same thing at points. And looking back at the tape, I said things. I just would ask we slow down with objections and that neither side say things that should not be put on the record in front of the jury.
Okay, so objection and a response.
Thank you.
All right.
So as we went through exhibits 348 to 400 yesterday, we stipulated them, but I don't think they were formally admitted, so I just moved for the formal admission now. They're the photographs from the witness.
Yeah, no objection.
Did you receive my email about the sealed record?
Yes.
Yes, Judge.
Okay, so I want to do that not while the jury is waiting, and it won't take much time. Looking for my list of exhibits. Sorry, I'm looking for my exhibit list. So, I'm sorry, Mr. Keese, you're moving for the admission of exhibit.
There were 348 to 400. They were agreed upon by defense, but I don't think they were formally admitted by the court. I just want to make sure the record's.
Yeah,
I neglected to ask for their admission, Your Honor.
Yeah, I think there was sort of an understanding. So 348 through 400, Ms. Smith, I need to.
Yeah, I made no objection, and I did have down they were admitted, but either way, there's no objection.
Okay, 348 through 400 are admitted. I have a lot of paper on my desk, so I suspect that's where my exhibit list is. Anyway, are you ready for the jury?
I believe so.
Yes.
Who's the first one?
Now the cougher is sneezing.
Willis? Okay. All right.
Judge, we will be playing a portion of the Oxford High School surveillance video. I'll let the court know before to also inform the victims in the courtroom and so the media is aware.
Yeah, the media's been very cooperative, so I'm sure the victims would like heads up too.
Of course.
And Your Honor, on that exhibit, the court knows I've objected. The court's made a ruling. Can we just not move for objection in front of the jury so I don't have to tell them I've objected? We know it's admitted.
Oh, you don't want to object? Are you saying you don't want to object in front of the jury?
Yeah, because it's already been admitted.
Oh, I understand. So your objection is noted for the record.
Thank you.
Okay. Ongoing objection to it.
Right. Thank you.
All right.
All right for the jury.
Sugar Plum Fairy. Jennifer's wearing her Amazon tank top and cardigan in oatmeal. Shannon is dressed in plum. And the court audio sucks, as usual.
Good morning, you may be seated. Thank you for being so timely. We appreciate you. I'm going to ask the prosecutor who the next witness is.
Lieutenant Timothy Willis.
I thought they said they were resting yesterday.
I do, Your Honor.
All right, please step up, have a seat, and then would you please state your name without the spelling?
Timothy Willis, Timothy Willis.
Go ahead, prosecutor.
Thank you, Judge. I just need to make sure this is connected.
All right, guys, I'll see you in a little bit.
Is this on, Judge?
What's that?
Is this on?
That usually is last. That usually is on last. So
Thank you.
It's all in a second.
Is the screen on, sir?
Yes.
Yeah, it's the last thing that goes on usually.
May I proceed, Judge?
Go ahead.
Sir, how are you employed?
I'm a detective lieutenant with the Oakland County Sheriff's Office.
What is a detective lieutenant?
My duties include I'm one of two detective lieutenants in the Investigative Forensic Services Division. We offer support services through investigations to our agency and really law enforcement in the region. My duties include the Special Investigations Unit. I'm in charge of that. I'm in charge of the Fugitive Apprehension Team. I'm in charge of the Computer Crimes Unit, and I'm in charge of our Warrants Unit.
Okay. And we've heard about the Special Investigative Unit through Sergeant Joseph Bryan. Does that individual work for you as well?
He does.
Okay, so specifically the Special Investigative Unit, can you tell the jury what they do?
So the Special Investigations Unit handles major crimes for our agency. We often get requests from other agencies to assist with their crimes or handle them. These crimes range from high-profile cases, political cases, whatever really they kind of request. Our training is pretty expansive in as much that we handle like larger complex cases.
Okay. And how long have you been a lieutenant?
Since 2016.
Okay. And all told, how long have you been a police officer?
I hired in 1996, so I'm approaching 28 years.
All right. Sir, I'd like to direct your attention to November the 30th, 2021. Do you recall that day?
I do.
Were you notified of an active shooter situation at the Oxford High School?
I was actually at the prosecutor's office discussing another totally separate matter, and the prosecutor and her chief assistant came in and advised me, was I aware that there was a shooting at the Oxford High School, and I was not at the time.
Okay, so you were meeting on a different case completely?
Yes.
Okay. And do you recall approximately the time that occurred?
It was around, understand it was a very difficult time to remember exactly, but it was around 1 o'clock.
Okay. And what did you do when you were notified?
Prior to that, we had recently had a similar, but it was a false alarm incident at a different school. So my initial thought was this was another one of those, just someone pulled an alarm or something happened. I immediately collected my things. I got up and walked. I made a phone call. For the life of me, I've been trying to remember who I called. I cannot remember. I do remember them telling me it's real.
Okay. And when you were told it's real, what clicked in with you?
I went downstairs.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Take your time.
Thank you. I went downstairs and immediately got in my car and went lights and sirens to the scene.
Okay. When you say lights and sirens, what does that mean?
My vehicle is an undercover vehicle for all intents and purposes, but it is equipped with lights and sirens to respond to different things. So, police term, we call it coding. It's just like when you see cops racing to the scenes, it was very similar to that, except my car is an undercover type vehicle.
Do you recall how long it took you to get there?
It was somewhere within 20 minutes, I believe it was.
Okay. Do you remember the drive at all?
I remember portions of the drive to the scene. If you're familiar with the area, M24, Lapeer Road is the major route that we took to get there. It's the major road to get there, and it was completely lights, sirens, cars, just flooding northbound on Lapeer Road, and it was chaos.
So I'm going to show you what's already been admitted as People's 5. This is a map of the Oxford High School. Can you see that on your screen? I
can, sir.
Okay. Can you tell me what you observed when you first arrived at the school?
I observed when I came, there was students leaving the school. There was police officers flooding into the school. Emergency first responders. I know some of our people came right from their home address. It was I remember being shocked at, I live in a neighboring community, and I was just shocked that we have that amount of resources in a northern Oakland County school that quickly. Because, I really moved to get there, and by the time I was there, people were just flooding that place.
Do you recall where you went? First of all, let me ask you this. Did you go inside the school?
I did.
Okay, when you went inside the school, what was the situation?
I have no recollection of where I parked exactly, but I know I went in through the front office area. You can see on the right there where it says office.
Okay.
That entrance on the south there.
So this would be the main entrance to the school?
Yes.
Okay.
Captain Todd Hill, he was then a lieutenant, had already set up an incident command post, an interior post. Understand, we had a perimeter all secured. We were securing all the doors, no one in and out, unless you were law enforcement or emergency first responders. And we set up, because it was so cold that day, it wasn't ideal. However, the area where we were at, we determined to be relatively safe. So all of us responded to that area to start handing out our assignments. We refer to that as the interior command.
Okay, so you said incident command, interior command. Tell us the difference.
I'm sorry. So the interior command is just the location on the interior. Incident command is where most, if not all, the decisions are made. So at the time, the incident commander, Captain Hill, his focus was casualties, safety and security of the building, and searching for additional shooters. When I was driving to the scene, I do recall them saying, we were getting tips from, imagine being a civilian, or, driving around and seeing cars fly by you, hearing about a shooting, we got tips just flooded into our 911 center about, I think the shooter's in this car, There's a man in a camouflage jacket running through the gravel pit. We think that's a shooter. So it was just, all we knew to do was go to the school first. We had no idea what else, if anything, was going on. So the exterior command was set up to, first to protect the school. The interior command was set up to handle the issues going on within the school that, for lack of a better term, were most known at that point.
Okay, so you were a lieutenant at the time?
I was.
Okay. And at the time, you were also in charge of the Special Investigative Unit?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You said Lieutenant. Now, Captain Hill was focused on the active scene. So
yes, sir.
Clearing and casualties, things like that? Okay. What was your focus then?
So immediately upon entering the thing, I had a brief conversation with Captain Hill, advised that I would be handling the investigative portion of this. started then devising a plan, the best way that I could participate in the active investigation while the other stuff was going on. There was so many tips, if you will, social media tips coming in about this, that, and the other that, a lot of them certainly proved not to be true, but they had to be vetted. So, I could not just go in and start investigating the scene. There was several opportunities, i.e. For us to interview. We heard victims were at hospitals that needed to be interviewed. There was obviously tons of staff, personnel, and students still on the scene that we wanted to talk to and discuss and try to figure out what had happened.
Okay, so would it be fair to say that it was your responsibility to coordinate this investigative effort?
Yes, sir. So my job, that's exactly what my job is. My job is to direct those resources to the follow-up investigation.
Would it be fair to say that you are the officer in charge of this case?
Yes, that's fair to say.
Tell the jury, please, what does it mean to be an officer in charge?
So, as I stated earlier, I direct the investigation, meaning identify and attempt to interview or have my team attempt to interview victims, witnesses. I decide, I assist. You saw Bob Catellis up here from the crime lab. Him and I worked together about obtaining what evidence we deemed was going to be necessary for this case. I direct officers, to secure I directed the officers to secure the Crumbley home because we learned where the shooter lived. At the end of that, I comprised the information, and then I turned it over to the prosecutor's office, and then we discuss charging decisions.
Okay. And that's what an officer in charge does in every investigation.
That's right. That's not this investigation was not unique to that. We do them with all of ours.
Okay. Now, it's fair to say that there was a massive amount of evidence uncovered in this case.
Yes. Imagine we estimated approximately 1,700 people in the school that day. They weren't using their lockers. It was backpacks, cell phones, just dropped in. Obviously, they were worried about their safety. So we just had a lot of evidence within the school, not counting, evidence at different hospitals from victims, the shooter's home, things of that nature.
Okay. Judge, may I approach the witness?
Sure.
This is Exhibit 1. We have a stipulation.
Yes. Your Honor, we would stipulate to exhibits 1 through 4.
1 through 4.
1 through 4, thank you.
1 through 4 admitted.
Sir, I'll just give you all these right here.
Okay.
One is on top.
Yep.
Can you tell me, please, what I've just handed you?
These are the autopsy protocols for the 4 deceased victims.
I just want to make sure that's all. Okay, thank you.
Sir, tell us, you've reviewed the autopsy protocols in this case?
Yes, sir.
Do you know the identities of the victims who were murdered on November the 30th?
I do.
Okay. I'm going to show you what's been admitted, or stipulated to as Exhibit 418. Who is that?
That's Hannah St. Juliana.
Okay. And how old was she when she was killed?
14.
And sir, can you tell us, please, how she was killed?
The official cause and manner of death from the autopsy protocol is multiple gunshot wounds, homicide. She was shot in her upper torso, her abdomen, her thighs.
Could you refer to Exhibit 2?
I'm sorry, and her left forearm.
You don't need to apologize. Referring to Exhibit 2 now.
Lieutenant, can you tell me if you need, did I promote or didn't promote you, Lieutenant? Can you tell me if you need a break?
Yes. Yeah. I'm
Okay,
sorry.
just let me know, okay?
Yep. Thank you.
Now, this is People's 419 on the screen. Now, also referring to, this has been stipulated to, also referring to Exhibit 2, autopsy protocol for Madison Baldwin. Sir, how old was she when she was killed on November the 30th?
17 years old.
And how did she die?
Again, cause and manner of death was gunshot wound to the head. Manner of death was homicide. She, it was a close contact shot, meaning the firearm was either on or near the victim's head when the trigger was pulled.
Referring now to Exhibit 3. That's an autopsy protocol for Justin Schilling, is that right?
I think I have Tate Mears 3. Justin
I'm
Schilling's
sorry.
4.
Thank you, Tate Meir. And how old was he when he was killed?
Tate Mears was 16 years old.
This is Exhibit 420. It's been stipulated to. Tell us, please, how Tate was killed.
Again, the cause and manner of death from the autopsy protocol was gunshot wound. Tate had multiple gunshot wounds. Manner of death was homicide. Tate was shot in the back of the head at a further distance.
Now, Exhibit 4, sir. And that's the autopsy protocol for Justin Schilling.
Yes.
I'm showing what's been admitted, stipulated to for admission is People's Exhibit 421. Sir, is that Justin Schilling?
It is.
How old was he when he was killed?
17 years old.
Tell the jury, please, how he died.
Justin Schilling, you'll see, well, you won't observe it, but he was cause and manner of death from the autopsy protocol was gunshot wound to the head, homicide. He was also shot at close contact to the back of the head.
Sir, were others wounded and suffered gunshot wounds as well inside the school?
Yes.
Do you know their names?
I do.
Can you tell us who they are, please?
There's Phoebe Arthur, Elijah Mueller, Kylie Osage, Riley Franz, John Asciutto, Aiden Watson, and Molly Darnell, who testified earlier.
Thank you, sir. Sir, tell us what happens when you assume, may I approach?
Sure.
I'll take those steps, sir.
Thank you.
Tell us what happened after you assumed the lead of the investigation. So where were you when this happened, and tell us the first thing that you did.
So the first thing I did was collect myself because I was pretty overwhelmed, and then we were determining areas of the school had searched, and we were getting kids to the reunification point, which is, I think, was testified to at the Meyer. As that was happening, I made an announcement that I was handling the investigation to the 100+ emergency first responders that were in that office area that we saw earlier. And I said, if you're an investigator, come see me. And in hindsight, I don't know if it was the most efficient way of doing business because 100 investigators started walking toward me. I'd never obviously dealt with anything like that before, but partners from the ATF is where I met Special Agent Brandon, partners from the FBI, local law enforcement from all over the region, all offering help.
Okay, so was it your responsibility at that point to direct certain officers and agencies to do certain aspects of this investigation?
That's correct. They, for instance, Special Agent Brandon approached me with his partner, I believe, and said, you know, do you have the registered owner of the murder weapon? And I said, at this point, no, I did not. He's like, I'll take, let me take some information off the gun. We'll handle that. We'll track that down for you. And he did that, and I saw him, or I heard from him a short time later, where he advised the gun was registered to James Crumbley.
Okay. And you discovered that weapon was purchased on November the 26th, 2021 by Mr. Crumbley?
That's right. Just a few days prior on the Black Friday before.
Now, while you were on scene, did you come to learn the identity of the shooter?
I did.
And then was a decision made to secure the Crumbley family home?
It was. The shooter was on his way to the Oxford substation. I directed a couple of my investigators, Sergeant Joe Bryan, who you saw, to attempt to interview him at the substation. In addition, now that we knew who the shooter was, I directed detectives from the Pontiac substation. Lieutenant Marsban kind of spearheaded that part, and to go to the shooter's home to look for any additional casualties. It's not uncommon in a shooting situation where the shooter starts in the home and then goes to the school. So I was concerned about that initially.
In a school shooting situation?
That's correct.
Okay, and you had learned about that in your training?
Yeah, and just by prior school shootings.
Okay.
It's certainly not uncommon for that to happen.
And so you sent officers to that location, 112 East in Oxford?
I did.
All right. Now, at that time, was there a concern of explosives?
Yes. So, again, understand everything's happened very, very quickly. People started doing open source searches on the name.
The name of whom?
The shooter.
Okay.
And finding different things, and the internet is a very expansive place, as we all know. And there came a video from YouTube of him deploying a Molotov cocktail, which is essentially an accelerant in a bottle with some sort of ignition device, wick, if you will. You throw it, and when you throw it, it blows up, spreads, because the fuel inside it kind of spreads. So there's a YouTube video of that. There was also, and I'm sure we'll get to it, there was also a journal with written passages in it that described secondary devices, meaning, there was a concern, and again, at this point, I went back to Captain Hill and advised him, hey, look, there's a concern that there may be secondary devices in and around the school.
Okay. So when that information became known to you as lead investigator, what steps happened next?
So Captain Hill contacted the Michigan State Police bomb squad. While that was happening, I wasn't present for this, but it's my understanding a canine from the sheriff's office alerted, an explosives canine alerted on the backpack that was found in the bathroom the shooter exited prior to the shooting. So
what does that mean, an alert?
So the alert means that the dog detected some sort of explosive. Now, it could be a legitimate explosive, it could be a firearm, it could be ammunition, it could be something of that.
Okay. So what was done to alleviate this threat?
So, as I stated, Captain Hill called for the Michigan State Police bomb squad. They went in with a robot, and I have no expertise on how that works, but they determined that the bag was safe.
Okay. Now, sir, you were obviously on the scene at the school on November the 30th, 2021.
I was.
And you became aware that the Oxford High School has a number of security cameras.
That's correct.
Okay. And as an officer in charge of the investigation, did you also interview witnesses or review witness statements?
I did.
Okay. As a result of that, did you learn the path the shooter took on November the 30th, 2021?
Yes, sir.
So, can you tell us in what hallway and outside what room the shooting started?
Yeah, from the map earlier, you saw the highlighted area. That's all commonly referred to in Oxford as the 200 hallway. There's a short hallway and then a longer hallway. The shooter exited the bathroom adjacent to room 258, and that's when the shooting began.
I'm going to show you what's already been admitted as People's 12. What are we looking at here?
So this is the backpack that the shooter was carried into the bathroom. That was examined for explosives that we found on the scene.
And what else do we see in this picture?
So you can see that there's some personal effects. There's charging cables. There's a journal. There's a book.
Okay. When we reference journal, this is what we're talking about?
That's correct.
Okay. Now, what of note was discovered on those pages of paper? Not in the journal, but the other pages.
Yeah, so there was over 90 loose leaf papers you can see right there. They're different assignments or whatever. And can't hold me to it. Over 50 had drawings of firearms on them.
Now, sir, did you have the opportunity to review that handwritten journal that's depicted in People's 12?
Yes, sir, I did.
Okay. Describe what that journal is.
So, the contents, sir, or describe the journal?
Both.
So the journal was a hardbound leather type journal. Should be in there. You might be able to cut it open. It was there was approximately 22 pages of written information in the journal. It appears from some of the dates that it was written from the back cover to the front. The earlier dates seem to be on the back side, if that makes sense to you. Like I said, it was about 22 pages total in length.
Judge, I'm going to mark this for demonstrative purposes only as exhibits, so the record's clear. I believe that's 428, again for demonstrative purposes.
I'm sorry, may I please take a look at it?
Yes.
Is that just the...
It's just the hard copy journal.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have scissors.
Thank you.
So that black notebook you're holding in your hand, that's what's depicted here in Exhibit 12 that I'm magnifying.
That's correct.
Okay. Now these papers that we just talked about, we said over 50 with different pictures of weapons. There's no evidence that was ever turned into the school. Is that correct?
Yes, I have no evidence of that.
Okay. And you've had the opportunity to read the entire journal?
I have.
Okay. Out of that notebook, how many pieces of paper have actual writing?
22.
And does one of those 22 pages include just a drawing and a quote from a book?
Yes.
Okay. Now, out of the remaining 21, how many reference the school shooting?
Every single one.
So there are some that have been admitted, some portions of that. I'm going to go through those with you. Just so you're aware, we've numbered them to keep them straight for you as well as the jury. Number 1 is the drawing, page number 1. Page 22 would be the back cover of that journal. Is that clear?
Yes.
Okay, and the back cover of the journal has actual writing on it as well. Yes, 401.
Are you gonna go through?
Only the ones that have been admitted.
I understand, 401.
They're all 401.
Oh, they're all 401. I
Correct.
see, thank you.
Correct.
You said individually, so I got confused.
Okay. So this has been admitted as page 401. Sir.
She's like, I got
reading
confused. He's
the
like,
journal where there are
okay.
passages
He's
in there
over her.
indicative of a request for mental health help.
Yes.
Can you read what's been identified here as page 6 of that journal?
Yes, the shooter writes, I have zero help, as you can see on bold, for my mental problems, and it's causing me to shoot up the fucking school.
We'll move on to page 5. Could you read this passage, please?
In this one, the shooter writes, I want help, but my parents don't listen to me, and I can't get any help.
Now, this is page 19. Can you read that?
Yes. Shooter writes, my parents won't listen to me about help or therapist.
Sir, in that journal, were there entries about the shooter's desire to obtain a 9mm handgun?
Yes.
This is also Exhibit 401, page 22. Could you read those quotes, please?
Yes. The shooter writes, I want to shoot up the fucking school so badly. Soon, I'm going to buy a 9mm pistol.
Sir, were there any passages regarding the shooter's plan for the actual shooting?
Yes, there were.
Okay. Here's page 3, also Exhibit 401. Could you read that, please?
Yes. Shooter writes, I'm about to shoot up the school and spend the rest of my life in prison.
Were there any journal entries about the shooter's access to the 9mm handgun?
There were.
This is also Exhibit 401, also page 3. Could you read that, please?
Yes, sir. The shooter writes, first off, I got my gun. It's a SP 2022 Sig Sauer 9mm. Second, the shooting is tomorrow. I have access to the gun and the ammo. I am fully committed to this now. So yeah, I'm going to prison for life, and many people have about 1 day left to live.
Thank you, sir. Now, is the journal written in normal size fonts, or are there certain passages that are bolded and larger than normal size font?
Both.
Okay. And were there drawings in there as well?
There were drawings.
Okay. Were the drawings small or were they large?
Yeah, there were large drawings.
Okay. What's an example of a large drawing?
Yeah, so there was a large drawing in the journal of a firearm being pointed at the back of a presumably a woman's head. There was a drawing depicting a 9mm caliber round versus a .22 caliber round. Those types of pictures were found in the journal.
Okay. And on the cover of the journal, what does that say? The actual cover of the journal itself?
It says apartments.com.
Okay. Lieutenant, you said you've seen the Oxford High School security footage that depicts the actual shooting.
Yes, sir.
Judge, we're going to introduce that now. This is Exhibit 402. It's been admitted. I would like, if the court could instruct the media not to play that.
Yes, the media has agreed, and I'm going to request that the media not play, show the video in the school. That's surveillance footage of November 30th, 2021, and is People's Exhibit 402.
402, thank you.
And the victims who are present are aware of the content of this specific video.
Yes, Judge.
Go ahead.
Before we get started, tell us please what this view depicts, what hallway?
Okay, so if you can recall back to the highlighted areas of the school map, this is that short hallway. The shorter portion of the long, it's all of the 200 hallway, but it's the shorter portion of the entire.
Can I stop you for a second? Are you okay if the audio is on still?
There's no audio.
Well,
is audio?
There's streaming in the courtroom, and there might be audio from the news cameras. So I just want to make sure that there's no objection.
That's fine. There's no audio of the video.
Okay. Right. Okay.
Okay. So this is the short portion of the 200 hallway.
Yes, and the bathroom that you see right there by the drinking fountains is the one that, correct. That's where the shooter will go into and then emerge from and begin his shooting.
And that's where that backpack was found?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this doorway here would be the doorway to classroom 258.
That is 258 there, yes.
Okay. And just so the record is clear, this video begins at, it's 12:46 p.m.
Yes.
And the actual shooting began at 12:51.
51.
Okay.
Correct.
I'm going to play right now. Again, this is 12:46. Tell me if and when you see the shooter walking down the hallway.
Okay. He is behind the young lady in the red sweatshirt right there. He's about, with the mask on, the black shirt, and the gray sweatshirt.
Okay. And that's with his backpack over his shoulders?
That's right. Yes, sir. And he's going to make a right turn into the bathroom here.
So we have a split screen at this point, and that's
just a camera angle from the other hall, or from the same hall facing the other way.
Okay. I'm stopping at 41 seconds. Identify who you see in this video.
So that's the shooter. If you want to, the two. That's Phoebe. On the left there is Phoebe Arthur. To the right is Elijah Mueller.
Okay.
This is John Asciutto. So these four young ladies here in the Carhartt or the brown jacket is Kylie Osage. Directly across from her is Hannah St. Juliana. This is Riley Franz in the pink backpack, and across from her is her sister Bella Franz.
Okay.
At the very end, you can see the beginning. That's Madison Baldwin walking up the hallway.
And this is at 12:51 and 12 seconds on November the 30th?
That's correct.
Why did they all pause for her to cry? What is going on? Keep the questioning going. What? You want to stand up and plead guilty, Bish? Then shut up. Why'd they all stop? I don't get it. Are they going to break, or we're all just going to watch Jennifer cry? Because Jennifer loves horses, don't forget. Give me a break. Why are they letting her have this performance?
Jennifer loves horses.
You think she really realizes? I don't. And she's putting her hands on her eyes. She's not even crying. This is all fake. I would say, let's continue the questioning. What are we stopping for? Miss Crumbley, please keep your emotions in check. We have victims' families that are here that are not sobbing out loud. Let's keep it together. I don't know if the video is playing or not, is it? She should be watching it if they're playing a video. Why isn't she looking up? Maybe they are playing it. I guess they're watching the video. Sorry. I can't stand it. Like, lady, turn off the theatrics. Totally inappropriate. I'm sorry, but if Madison Baldwin's mom can sit in the courtroom and watch her daughter get shot in the head, then she can shut the fuck up. Even if she does have regret or guilt, she needs to keep it together. Sorry. There's no audio in the video. It's just surveillance camera. She's sad for herself. We saw her in that interview. She didn't start crying until she found out her name would be in the news. She has her own reason for crying.
I feel like I just had a bug fly in my throat.
Yeah, Madison had a gun put straight to her head. The guy just testified that the gun touched Madison Baldwin's head. And then her son shot her. So who should be sobbing right now? Madison Baldwin's mom or Jennifer Crumbley? Oh, can we get some tissue and things for her? Your Honor, we're going to need a break. We're going to need a break. My client needs a minute. And I need to check my makeup. They're so inappropriate. I can't stand them. I'm sorry. They are showing the shooting, yes. And there's no audio in it. Give me a break. Absolutely. It's surveillance video from inside the school showing Ethan make his way down the hallway. Okay, now we've got the cameraman crying. I just heard a sniff real close to the camera. I'm sorry, but this is part of paying the piper. Holding your shit together. I don't know, Kendi. I doubt it. I think she looks worse than James at this point. It just angers me because I've watched the school board meetings. I've seen Madison's mom get up and speak. I've heard her talk about the loss of her daughter. And to see this woman crying when she could have prevented all of this if she wasn't fucking around with booze and drugs and other men, fuck her. Sorry. She was too worried about being skinny and looking good for her boyfriend. She's really squeezing him out. Watch her. Watch her squeeze her eyes to push tears out. This woman, do not fall for it, guys. Do not fall for it. Ridiculous. Speak up, Judge. Show the respect for the victim. Speak up, Judge. You know how many times the victims' families have had to watch these videos? Watching their own children in these videos? She can cry a river. Nobody cares, Jennifer. If we're annoyed, imagine being on that jury. They've got to be annoyed. Gretchen, he did name targets. He actually had a plan written out of a girl he wanted to kidnap. And he wanted to bring her to his house and torture her. Rape her and kill her. And then he also said that he was going to shoot anyone pretty. It was in his journal. And the judge saying that there would be boring parts in evidence made me sick as well. Oh,
Why did the officers have to run past Madison, Anna, and Kylie?
Here we go.
In our training for active shooters, we were trained to respond, drive up right to the door if you have to, and go in, search for stimulus, meaning sounds, gunshots, or whatever. Run to that and eliminate the shooter. Stop them, whatever, however you can. Because the situation was active and the killing hadn't stopped. You can't stop and render aid. I know them. If I could just finish this part, I'd appreciate it.
Yeah, this is about the witness getting through this, you insensitive bitch.
I know those officers.
Oh.
And that is the hardest thing they've ever had to do in their life.
We take a break, Jeff.
Yeah, we'll take a 10-minute break.
All rise for the jury.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Turn up the sound, Court TV. Unbelievable, man.
With the shot arm. I know. It's impossible.
Right over here, I'm sorry. Thank you so much.
That was awful. That's terrible.
All right, they finally muted us. This really is unbelievable. So Jennifer Crumbley has this so-called breakdown, right? We got about a 10-minute break. She has this so-called breakdown, but she didn't even watch it. She wasn't even watching it, you guys. Like, what the hell was that? What did Shannon say when she interrupted? She said, "Can we have a break?" And he was like, "Can you please let me get through this?" It's like, yeah, it's about him, not you, bitch. Wow. You want to rewind it? We'll watch that part again. Let's go back. Do you guys want this view back? Do you want the court view back or court TV? Which one do you like better?
Stop them, whatever, however you can. Because the situation was active.
I can't with that lady's sweater.
The killing hadn't stopped. You can't stop and render aid.
This is a scene on purpose.
Brother, can we take a break, please?
If I could just finish this part, I'd appreciate it.
I'm sorry.
No problem.
We're having a hard time. He's having a hard time.
I know those officers. And that is the hardest thing I ever had to do in their life.
Can we take a break, Jeff?
Yeah, I'm gonna take a 10-minute break.
He said that was the hardest thing I ever had to do in my life.
For the jury?
Look at this shit. Cheryl turned her camera off. And Cheryl stood up and she didn't look any more torn up than anybody else. It's nuts. Just nuts. Not liking it. Is this a different view? Let's see. Yeah, let's see that again up from this view.
The high like.
Look how they zoomed in on Shannon's papers. Look right here.
On the backside of.
Or sorry, the prosecutors. Why do they do that?
Like I said, it was about 22 pages total in length.
This is why they get kicked out of the courtroom, because they do stuff like that. Well, they ended it before.
Thank you.
Yeah.
They ended it there. Stupid. I don't understand the hit and miss coverage of this. Anyways, we're looking at the marble wall. No, first Shannon asked for a break and she was turned down because the witness, who has PTSD and is having a hard time getting through the testimony, wanted to finish, but she wanted to interrupt as usual in all her rudeness. And she asked for the break. I just played it, but I'll play it again. Let's watch how that went down. Let's watch the theatrics. Your Honor, can we take a break? And she stands up like it's going to be granted. She's so rude. I don't like her at all. You guys, these are the gifts that are going to be on the wheel tomorrow.
Why do the officers have to run past Madison, Anna, and Kylie?
The doorbell and chime. And some wireless earbuds. If we meet both of our goals, looks like we met our member goal. We need to meet our super chat goal.
For active shooters, really trained to respond. Drive up right to the door if you have to.
Confused now.
That's the hardest thing.
They must have stopped filming when they showed the video, huh?
The Osage, directly across from her is Hannah St. Juliana. This is Riley Franz in the pink backpack, and across from her is her sister Bella Franz.
No, right here. Right here I'm going to do
At
it.
the very end, you can see the beginning. That's Madison Baldwin walking up the hallway.
Thank you, Island and Sarah. Thank you so much, guys. We're going to get there. We're going to be giving those two things away. We've got, let me show you again, a Ring doorbell with chime. Thank you so much, guys. And wireless earbuds. These are really good earbuds, too. I have a pair myself. And you can protect yourself here. Plasue. China brand, but it has a chimer for your house and it has a doorbell for the outside, and you can hook it to your phone. So we have a wheel, and I'll spin the wheel and we'll have two winners. Everybody who's super chatted and become a member or donated memberships, gifted memberships, you'll be on the wheel automatically. Oh, wow. Carmen with an E coming in hot like a fajita. Good morning, everyone. I've been watching with law students, and we've had enough of the clown show, so we lodged a complaint against Judge Matthews. I was transferred through to the administrator office. Wow. What do you think would happen, Carmen with an E? Tell us how that process works, because I'm not sure how that process works. Brenda, thank you so much for your super chat. We are clearly on the same page. I mean, I can't with this. It's so rude. 741741. Jen, what's that? You guys are awesome. Robin Malette. Probably Gretchen Aru being spoiled by the judge to avoid appeals, but there comes a point where you have to, I think as a judge, you have to like reel yourself in, right? Like, or reel your courtroom in. We've seen it a million times. Thank you, Glories. She said, I love your channel and your content is amazing. I watch you every day. Keep doing what you do. I love your sense of humor too. Thank you so much, Glories. That means so much. Because, I just get on here and do my thing, and it's like, I'm glad that you like me and you like my content. I appreciate that. Look at Angie B coming in hot. Like a fajita. My three sons, welcome to the stream. Thank you so much, Ange. Scout Inquirer, greetings from New York. Hello, New York. Hi, J for J Mods in chat. Hi, everyone. I am a renewed subscriber, and this is my first live stream in a few years. Well, welcome back, Scout. I'm sure my audio is better than it was a few years ago. Oh, I don't know when they created that, Jen. Thanks so much, Scout. Oh, Olive gifted another membership. Bunny, thank you. Olive and Bunny, welcome to the crew. They're still watching the video. We're replaying it. Oh my God, Meg B! Meg B, this is 15 memberships today. Thank you so much, Meg. Terry Jones, Jamie Christofferson, Scout Inquirer, and Sunshine Thomas, and Susie Q. Welcome. Thank you so much, Megs. Makita Taylor, whoop whoop, gifted memberships. Thanks, Meg and Jay. Thank you, Makita. Makita Taylor coming in hot with a $1.99 super chat. Thank you so much. You guys are awesome. Dara has been a member for 5 months. Thank you, Dara. Working but listening in the background. Thanks for covering this trial. You are very welcome. I wouldn't have missed it. I feel like it's a very important trial to cover. Crime and Crochet says, my mom doesn't watch YouTube, but I ever watching you. Hi, Crime and Crochet's mom. Bunny says, I'll be here for life. Bunny. We hope so.
For active shooters, we were trained to respond.
Okay, this is where they ask for the...
Drive up right to the door if you have to.
This is where they ask for the break. It's got to be coming up here because it's getting real.
And that is the hardest thing they're going to do in their life.
We take a break, Jeff.
I missed it where she asked for the break. I'm horrible with rewinding. You know what? I'm sorry, Jennifer. Yeah, I missed it somehow. Is it right here? I probably won't be able to find it now. Trio Mom. I told the admin. Okay, wait. Here's Carmen with an E. Hold up. Let me pause that. I told the admin where we were calling from and how many students were watching. I strongly suggest others make a formal complaint too. What was your what was your grief? What was your complaint about? Was it about Dawn Stedman coming in hot? Look at that. Like a fajita. Thank you so much. YouTube has been unsubscribing you. See, they do that when you're getting to 100K. They try to set you back, guys. We've got to fight the good fight. Sirius Black, thank you so much. Thank you, Miss J. You are so important to this world. Wow, thank you. That's a lot of responsibility. I try to do my best. Thank you guys so much. Seriously, all these super chats, all these memberships, you guys are awesome. I can't wait to spin that wheel tomorrow. If you guys haven't seen yet, we're going to have 2 winners of a Ring doorbell with Chime. Some AirPods, not real Apple AirPods, but Airbase wireless AirPods. So thank you guys so much. I love to give back when I can, and I can, so I'm going to. Thank you so much, Dara, for your $10 super chat. Robin Malete with $2.99. Thank you so much, Case Chaser. Thanks for being here. Karchi. Aw. That's so nice. You're good with the court TV? Yeah, me too. It's like Wheel of Fortune. Yeah, it is. It's a wheel. I was going to fire it up and show you guys how it worked, but I didn't get a chance to. Terry Jones. This is Terry Jones's 3rd super chat on the channel. Thank you so much, Terry. Will you cover the Shanna Gardner case? It's going to be good. Rich Mormon family with a rogue daughter. I've never even heard of her. There's so many cases out there. If you have any case suggestions, though, feel free to send them to the team because a lot of them we don't always hear about. There's so many going on. So it depends on when it would be, Pink Nasty. I mean, this chat wouldn't be anything. This channel wouldn't be anything without all of you here. So you'd like to win a puppy? All right, Carmen, I said the judge is scrambled, too soft with no backbone, and didn't know the first thing about running a courtroom. I said more, but that was the basis. Just unprofessional. Yeah. Thank you, Sliced and Diced. Look how pretty. Look, we have the hottest members and subscribers on YouTube. Look how pretty Sliced and Diced is. Y'all are the prettiest girls. Look at Meg P. Yeah, so now all the new members can join up for the Super Bowl party. Like I said, we're waiting to find out what 2 teams would be there. And then we're going to dig some true crime from those 2 cities. And then we also have football squares, and each quarter is going to be a $125 payout. Oh, that Shanna Gardner. The one that they put something in the road and he got out? That guy? Oh, when is that? Karchi. We have the most beautiful people on YouTube. Look at Mandy Joe. I ain't lying. Look at Olive. I mean, the hotness doesn't stop. Thanks so much for your support, guys. I appreciate you. I really, really do. I hope that something gets done with this judge, though, and she gets... I don't know who can talk to a judge. I mean, who's her boss? Damn. Cheryl McDonald. I got Canadian $6.99. I love your podcast. Thank you for your coverage. Thank you, Cheryl, for being here. Cheryl's like, I'm watching this because I didn't want the Crumbleys in my country. They own the Stampin' Up? You're kidding. Look, Jennifer's being brought back in. Casey gifted. Casey, thank you so much. Pink Nasty, welcome. I had no idea they owned Stampin' Up. Wow. Thank you so much, Case. And there's the beautiful Kimmy. Okay, we're back, guys. I'll see you guys on the next break. I got to keep working on my room here. Just kidding. I was actually looking at a magazine. You guys caught me. I got this stupid magazine. I got carried away. Buy now, pay later. I was like, what? What can I get? And it's all ugly stuff. Look. It's like, look at this. I was like, what is this? 1990? Look at that. What? Wait till you see this. Like, who buys these? No offense if you like this stuff, but it really is old school. It's old school. I might need one of these soon. A lift chair. Thank you, Robin Malette. The only thing they don't have is the country blue. Rapunzel. She's got Jose Baez. So does Derek Rosa. Wow. Okay, here we go, guys.
Stand up.
We were just notified by the advocate that there were victims and family of victims using the restroom in the hallway, and apparently a juror was in the same restroom as the juror walked out. There was no communication, no words spoken. I just wanted to place it on the record.
Okay, no, I appreciate that. We, at one time, I mean, I don't want to tell you the inner workings of, we have 2 jury rooms going here. We've had personality issues, we have privacy issues. There are 4 bathrooms there, so, okay.
Thank you. I just wanted to make.
No, I appreciate that. It's that's why I don't want them going to the cafeteria. Okay. Ready for the jury?
Yes, sir.
This is so dumb. It's like, have they never had a jury trial in this courthouse before? And the jury can't. I mean, what bathroom are they supposed to use? I don't get it. Oh, Jennifer.
Psychopathy.
Go into the clinker, the big house.
All rise for the jury.
Stand up.
the jury's coming back in case. Thank you guys for that little burst of funzos.
All right, you may be seated. Lieutenant, we'll see what's still on the road, all right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Go ahead, Counsel.
Thank you. Sir, you mentioned earlier that you directed officers to the Crumbley family home at 112 East in Oxford?
Correct.
Okay. And approximately how far in distance is that home to the school?
A mile.
Okay.
Yeah.
And as officer in charge and as a sheriff's office employee, you're aware that vehicles have in-car recording capability?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to show you what's been, I believe, stipulated to is Exhibit 341. This is an in-car video of Deputy Zajak's marked patrol car. That's 341.
I'm sorry, I'm just...
Was that admitted through Joe Bryan or not?
No, just 342 was.
And I'm sorry, we have no objection to 341.
All right, 341 is admitted.
And, sir, so we're clear, the deputies arrived at 112 East at 2:48 p.m., 2:49 p.m.?
Yes.
And that's November the 30th, 2021?
Yes.
Okay. And as we saw in the video, the shooter was taken into custody at 1 p.m.
Yes.
Okay.
Correct.
This one, get the volume turned up.
Right now, when you get them. Why is she in handcuffs? Can you take the handcuffs off of her, please? Carefully hold yourself. Okay, plug in first. You guys can make it. It's not going to be long for those handcuffs. I promise.
Why am I in cuffs though? It hurts. Like it really hurts.
Wow, what's that?
Why am I in your cuffs?
I don't know. I don't know. I asked them the same fucking thing.
They didn't do anything. I'm getting claustrophobic. I'm getting claustrophobic.
Oh my God.
This is going to be a lot better if you don't make the situation.
Why are they here? Why are they here? Okay, can you push my glass in my nose, please? Put chapstick on my lip, please. And then get my fucking phone.
You want to bet Earth, Wind, and Fire strikes me?
Why are you in fucking handcuffs?
Your phone here?
I set it down and then I have a cop pointing a gun at me.
Why are they in our house? I'm so confused.
We're dealing with this shit. Already dealing with shit. Why have we got to deal with this?
Sal said it looks like they're on cash.
Where's the other guy?
In the gun case.
Where's that at?
In the dresser.
That's Patrick! That's Patrick! Patrick!
He can't hear you, Jim. He can't hear you. He's not going to be able to hear you. Jen, he can't hear you. I love you in case something happens. If anything happens, you do not answer any questions without a lawyer. Leanne, my name's Jennifer.
It's Jennifer.
Jennifer, come on now. Wait, hey, take the handcuffs off.
So that video started at 2:49 p.m. November the 30th. This was after they had spoke with Sergeant Joe Bryan at the Oxford substation, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And the video that we saw with Sergeant Pesky, that occurred directly after this.
That's correct.
Okay. So when she was taken out of the vehicle, she was placed in a different vehicle, and that's where Sergeant Pesky spoke with her.
Correct.
Okay. And then as Edward Wogrowski testified, they arrived home from the location data at 2:30 p.m. after the substation.
Yes.
Okay. Sir, do you know the date in which Jennifer Crumbley was charged?
December 3rd.
Okay, so the shooting happened on Tuesday, November the 30th. December 3rd would have been a Friday.
That's correct.
Okay. And
I believe it was noon, around noon.
Okay. Tell us what happens when someone is charged with a felony in the state of Michigan. The process to actually have the charging document.
So the prosecutors give me a warrant. I go in front of a judge and I swear to the facts of the case. The judge authorizes the warrant.
Okay. And that's what we would commonly refer to as a swear to?
Swear to, correct.
All right. And did that happen in this case?
It did.
Is that a closed proceeding or is that open to the public?
It was open.
Okay. In fact, it was broadcast at that point?
There was media present for that, yes.
Okay. And they were, Jennifer and James Crumbley were not in custody at the time of the swear to, is that right?
That's correct, they were not.
We've already heard from Dave Hendrick about the fugitive apprehension team in that part of the investigation. Tell us, please, how retired Sergeant Hendrick's team got involved.
So, upon being made aware that charges were coming, we knew that they weren't at the residence. So I had Sergeant Hendrick, who worked for me, deploy the fugitive apprehension team to locate the suspects.
Okay, and that's purely a law enforcement function. Would that be correct?
100%, yes.
Okay, so as a detective lieutenant in charge of all of these different divisions, that includes the fugitive apprehension team?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So the decision then would have ultimately been yours?
Yes, I told him to go attempt to look for him.
Okay. Now was that on Friday the 3rd or was that prior to Friday the 3rd?
I don't recall.
Okay. He testified yesterday that he recalled it being Thursday the 2nd. Is that accurate or you just don't remember?
Yeah, I don't. I think it's accurate, but I don't remember it specifically.
Okay. That's fair. Now, during the course of your investigation as the officer in charge, did you learn where the defendant went after her phone was seized in the evening of November 30th, 2021?
Yes.
Okay. And I guess as a reference point, Lieutenant Sam Marsman testified yesterday as to the date and time when her phone was seized. You were here for that testimony?
I was.
Okay. So I'm going to have you walk us through that timeline.
Okay.
Now, we've heard about the track phone purchases.
Yes.
Did you discover where those purchases were, where those purchases occurred?
Yes, at a Walmart in Lapeer.
Okay. This would be exhibits. This is exhibit 404. I don't believe we have an objection.
Any objection to 404?
No.
404 is admitted.
Okay, so this is a photograph of the exhibit. What are we looking at here?
This is the purchase receipt for the track phones from the Walmart in Lapeer.
Okay. And did you learn where they stayed that night?
They stayed at a hotel in Lapeer.
Okay. I'm going to show you exhibit 405. I don't believe there's an objection to 405 either.
No.
405 is admitted.
Thank you, Judge. This is 405. What are we looking at here?
This is a receipt for the overnight stay at the Holiday Inn Express in Lapeer.
Now, did you do the swear-to for the shooter as well in this case?
I did.
Okay. And when did that occur?
That was it was on the December 1st. I want it. Time was sometime in the early afternoon.
Okay. If I said 3:51 p.m., would that sound right?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Okay. Do you know where James and Jennifer Crumbley were then?
Yes. It was a swear-to, much like we do typically, open to the public. They were I believe they were on Zoom in their vehicles.
Okay. That proceeding's open to the public, is that right?
Yes, it is.
I'm going to show you. Well, first, let me ask you, did the investigation uncover where they stayed the day after the shooting, December the 1st, 2021?
Yes, it did.
Okay. This is exhibit 408.
No objection.
408 is admitted. 407 is not.
They skipped.
Correct, Judge.
Okay. Thank you.
Instead of renumbering all the exhibits, we thought it.
Oh, no, it's all right. I just want to make sure I was keeping up.
Thank you, Judge. 408, what are we looking at here?
This is an extended stay in Auburn Hills.
Okay. And this is where the defendant and her husband checked in December the 1st, 2021?
That's correct.
Does it indicate a checked out date?
December 3rd, 2021.
Okay. And that's that Friday?
Yes.
Now, we heard from Sergeant Hendrick, retired Sergeant Hendrick, that they recovered a vehicle belonging to the Crumbleys in Auburn Hills.
They did.
Okay. Is this the location where that vehicle was recovered?
It is.
Okay. This is exhibit 409. Photograph.
No objection.
409 is admitted.
Okay. What are we looking at here?
This is one of the two vehicles owned by the Crumbleys backed in a parking spot at the extended stay in Auburn Hills.
Now, during the course of this investigation, were banking records from the Crumbleys obtained?
Yes.
All right. Specifically on December the 2nd, so that'd be the Thursday, did you find that they had withdrawn cash on multiple occasions?
Yes, they did.
Okay. This is exhibit 411. I believe this is covered under stipulations as well.
I'm sorry, did you say 411?
411, yeah.
That's not 411.
No, the next slide. I didn't want to publish it until you confirmed it was stipulated to.
Yes, it is.
Any objection to 411?
No objection, sorry.
411 is admitted. And again, 410 was not.
Correct, Judge.
Previously.
Yes, thank you, Judge. Okay, what are we looking at here in exhibit 411?
This is a withdrawal of $2,000 withdrawal transfer, $2,000 from Flagstar by Jennifer Crumbley.
Now, Edward Rogowski told us about replacement phones. Did you uncover that James and Jennifer Crumbley, after buying their track phones, bought another set of phones?
Yes.
Okay. And do you know the date and location where that happened?
That was in Owasso.
Owasso, Michigan?
Yep.
Okay. And that's on December the 2nd, 2021?
I'm sorry. Yes, it was on December 2nd.
Okay. This is going to be 413, the T-Mobile receipt.
No objection.
413 is admitted.
Yes, it's just 413, correct?
Mm-hmm.
All right. And so what are we looking at here?
This is the purchase of the 2 replacement phones.
Okay. And that was Owasso, Michigan, on December the 2nd, 2021?
Yes.
Okay. What's the relative distance from Owasso to Auburn Hills?
It's about an hour.
Now, did they obtain more cash in this time frame?
Yes, they did.
Back to the banking records. This is 411. No objection to this. I believe we've stipulated to this. Is that correct, Counsel?
Yes.
Yeah.
411, okay. This is Friday, December the 3rd, 2021. And what is the withdrawal amount of cash in this exhibit?
$4,000.
Now, was evidence uncovered in the investigation that showed you a transfer or withdrawal was made from the defendant's son as well?
Yes.
This is exhibit 414. Again, it's covered under stipulation. Move to admit.
You have any objection to 414?
No objection.
414 is admitted.
Thank you. So what are we looking at here in exhibit 414?
So this is the Simply Kids savings account, Ethan Crumbley's account.
Okay. And specifically on November the 30th, 2021, do you see a withdrawal from that account?
Yes, there was a $3,000 withdrawal that day.
Okay. And November 30th, is that significant to you?
That's the day of the shooting.
Okay. And how much was left in her son's account?
99 cents.
So what we can tell from the banking records and messages, by this date and time, the defendants obtained $6,000 in cash, $3,000 transferred from their son's account, and they were attempting another $5,000 from horse sales.
That is right. Yes, sir.
Now, do you know where the defendant went after she checked out of the Auburn Hills motel?
They traveled to the address in Detroit, the warehouse.
Okay, and that's the address that William Creer testified to yesterday, 1111 Belleville?
Bell, yes, correct.
Okay. So I'm going to show you portions of that exterior surveillance footage that was obtained. Before we do, we've already talked about the timestamp difference. The timestamp on the video is about 22 or 23 minutes fast. Is that correct?
Yes.
So these will be, we marked them separately for convenience as 415 and 416.
Okay.
And the people will move to admit and publish now. We'll start with 415.
Any objection to 415 or 416?
No objection to 415. There is an objection to 416 because Mrs. Crumbley's not a part of it.
Judge, I think it is relevant to show what happened with the vehicle and why, especially in light of Mr. Kirkley's testimony yesterday and Mr. Creer's testimony yesterday.
Your Honor, it doesn't involve Mrs. Crumbley, so I would object.
I think it's relevant to their activities, and it's non-testimonial. I'm going to admit it.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Again, I'll start with 415. Before we hit play, again, the timestamp is 11:20 and 35 seconds on November the 3rd. I'm sorry, December the 3rd, 2021.
That's right.
Okay, so actual time would be approximately 10:58 a.m.
Correct, sir.
Okay. What do we see here in the video at the 11:21 timestamp?
Yeah, so that's the a friend of the defendant's who activated the security gate to open it, and the defendant pulled in and parked.
Okay, and again, this is the parking lot at 1111 Belleville in the city of Detroit?
Yes.
Tell me if you see anybody you recognize.
I recognize the defendant.
Maybe this person right here?
Yep. Yes.
And your friend you identified as this individual?
That's correct.
Is James Crumbley depicted in this video as well?
Yes, that's James there.
Right here in the magnified portion?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, now I'm going to play you 4:16. Before we start again, the timestamp is 16:10. First of all, what is 1600 hours?
That's 4 o'clock in military time.
Okay.
4
And
p.m.
And this would be so shortly before 4 o'clock actual time on Friday the 3rd?
Yeah, 3:48, I think, or something like that.
So this is about 4 hours after the charges were officially announced? Is that
That's
right?
correct.
Okay. And about a day or so after the fugitive apprehension team began looking for them?
Yes.
Your Honor.
When charges?
Your Honor, I would object because this witness is saying no on the fugitive apprehension team. They came to my office on Friday.
Hold on,
And so
hold on.
Wait. Okay.
He wouldn't have personal knowledge of the fugitive apprehension team, and he's saying the wrong date.
Judge,
Okay, well,
counsel can't insert that.
Well, you can't testify, but I want to know from his personal knowledge. One thing I think that would be helpful is, I don't think, would anything refresh your recollection about when the swear-to was?
The swear-to for, we mentioned two, Your Honor, so you talking about the swear-to for the defendant?
Yes.
The swear-to for the defendant was the December 3rd.
December 3rd.
December 3rd.
Okay.
Right.
So when when did you contact the fugitive apprehension team?
December 2nd evening or late afternoon, evening time to get an idea where the defendants were, because we believe charges would be forthcoming.
But they said that he said they came on the 3rd.
You mean Hendricks?
Yeah, and Hendricks came to my office on the 4th.
No. Hendricks, Friday the 3rd is when Hendricks testified that he showed up there. He was conducting surveillance prior to noon.
Oh, he was there without me. Okay.
It's all on the record.
Okay, yeah, you have to rely on the evidence from the witness stand, okay? And you have to rely on your collective memories and your notes, right? Go ahead.
Thank you. Okay, sir, you testified earlier that the swear-to that was broadcast was noon, Friday, December the 3rd.
Yes.
Okay, and this video is around 4 p.m., Friday the 3rd.
Correct.
Okay. Now, Luke Kirkley testified about looking at a poster online, and that's what spurred him to call 911. Do you recall that?
I do.
Okay. And so when a BOL, or be on the lookout, is announced, is the license plate of a vehicle also given?
Yes.
Okay. Was the license plate on this vehicle in the front of the vehicle or the back of the vehicle?
It was affixed to the back.
Got it. Now, sir, Mr. Rogrowski already testified about the location data for Jennifer Crumbley on the day of the shooting, November the 30th, 2021. Do you recall that?
I do.
Okay, and as officer in charge, you're aware of that information that he uncovered?
Yes.
Okay. Just want to confirm that Jennifer Crumbley never stopped by her home at 112 East after meeting Mr. Hopkins at the Oxford High School?
No, she went directly back to work.
Okay. Now, you've had the chance to review phone logs as well as other information from social media and information obtained from Jennifer Crumbley's phone?
Yes.
Okay. And sir, do you have any experience getting someone same-day mental health help?
Yes, I do.
Are there facilities available for that?
Yes, there's a facility on this complex called Common Ground that's available for that.
In reviewing the phone logs of Jennifer Crumbley, was there any indication of any phone calls to a facility of that sort?
No.
In fact, any phone calls to any doctor's offices?
No.
Counselor offices?
No.
Any hospitals?
No.
Okay. Any mental health professionals at all?
No.
Thank you. I have nothing for you.
Cross.
Okay, thank you. Sergeant Willis, I want to go back to the pages from the shooter's journal that were admitted. You don't have any evidence to suggest that Mr. or Mrs. Crumbley ever saw the journal, correct?
I'm sorry, miss.
You do not have any evidence to show that Mr. or Mrs. Crumbley ever saw the journal.
I'm sorry. It's been a tough day. Okay. So you're asking me do I believe Mr. or Mrs. Crumbley?
I'm asking you.
Do I have evidence?
Do you have any evidence to believe that Mr. Crumbley or Mrs. Crumbley saw the journal?
No, if I had evidence of that, I imagine the charges would be different.
If you had evidence they saw the journal, the charges would be different?
Yeah, murder, okay. I would imagine.
Okay, so the journal was located in the backpack that belonged to the shooter, correct?
Yes, correct.
There were also a number of other papers in that backpack that you described?
Yes.
You don't have any evidence that Mrs. Crumbley ever saw any of those papers, correct?
Correct.
Now, in the journal, you've testified about certain statements the shooter wrote in the journal, correct?
Yes.
And specifically, one of the statements that you testified about was where the shooter wrote, "I have access to the gun." Is that correct?
Yes.
In the journal, there are other statements where he indicates he is looking for the gun, correct?
Can you tell me which ones you're referencing?
Sure. So I'm going to hand you, Your Honor, may I please approach?
Sure, just show Mr. Keystridge.
Sure.
Yeah, I have a copy of it too, if that helps.
Judge, just briefly, this was subject of a prior court ruling.
Yes. So I'm going to ask everybody to be really careful. All right?
Okay, so I was gonna show 788, just this one line.
Okay, again, Judge, maybe we should have a minute outside the presence of the jury.
Your Honor, can we just approach and I can show you?
I have it, and I know
Do you want
exactly what it is.
to? Do you want
No,
me to-
it's not that. We have to discuss the court's prior ruling.
Your Honor, I think, okay.
All right, I'm going to excuse you for 10 minutes, all right?
All right, Mr. Jury.
You can stay there or sit down, however you're comfortable.
I'm fine here, Your Honor. Thank you.
I'll be brief, Judge. The court is aware where I'm going.
I am well aware.
Yes. So the court rules specific passages to be admissible under specific portions of the hearsay exception in response to defendant's request to exclude the entire journal. I don't want to speak for what counsel is doing, but if counsel is going to admit other portions that have already been ruled to be inadmissible, that's something that has to be discussed on the record, and I think it's something that has to be ratified, Judge.
Well, I am, of course, going to warn everybody about opening the door because this journal is obviously very, very disturbing. However, if when you put the black robe on, you can read people's minds. So I'm assuming that Ms. Smith is seeking to admit on page 788, I don't know where my dad hid it.
Yes.
And also on page 795, where he says, I have to find where my dad hid the 9mm. Isn't that what she's seeking to do? Are you
Yes.
seeking
That's
to do?
what it looks like.
That's correct.
Are you seeking to do anything beyond that? Be specific, because
There's-
I can't unring the bell, right?
That's correct. I'm seeking to do those two with the claim about access to the gun. And the detective also testified to a statement about I'm going to get the gun. So I wanted to impeach him with, on 789, there is a statement that says, it's one line, however, I don't want to be caught as that will make me getting the 9mm impossible.
It's not impeachment because he's not the declarant.
Well, I'm hamstrung because these statements are coming in by a declarant that I'm not allowed to call as a witness. And under the
Okay,
same...
I want to back up a second. I never said that you could not call the shooter as a witness.
I was getting the vibe that would be the ruling of the court.
No, that'll never be the ruling of the court. I'm not telling you that you can't. I am not, as a judge in this court, telling you you cannot call the shooter as a witness. However, we've been over this before. We're going to go over it again this afternoon. Pursuant to case law that everybody's aware of, including a case called Jacqueline.
Did I ask them to do that?
642, a 1977 case. No one is allowed to put a witness in front of this jury who was going to take the fifth. No one. It's not me.
Well,
I'm not keeping you from calling someone as a witness, but his Fifth Amendment rights have been asserted repeatedly. And I can't let you put a witness on the stand. Anyone, the prosecution too. I wouldn't let the prosecution put someone on the stand, knowing that that person was going to take the Fifth Amendment, take the fifth. If someone takes the fifth in front of the jury, it's over. It's a mistrial. I can't let you do that, right? And I also asked before, aside from what is your favorite color, I can't imagine something you could ask the shooter that would not implicate his Fifth Amendment rights. His current attorneys, the State Defender's Office, have asserted his rights. They've said he will not testify.
I understand that. I have said I would still like him to testify, so I just need a finding by the court that under case law he's not going to testify.
I'm not making a finding that he's not going to testify. His lawyers have asserted the fifth. You're not allowed to put someone on the stand that will take the fifth. And in reality, if they say he won't testify, I don't know what am I going to do? I'm going to insist that he testify and then hold him in contempt and put him in jail? Is that?
Well, Your Honor, I understand the court's position, but for the record in this case...
And by the way, I understand your position as well.
I've indicated...
I do.
For as far as our position, I've indicated I don't believe the shooter should be allowed to plead the fifth because he was sentenced. He's made statements about the crimes. He pled guilty to all 24 counts in adult court. And so I don't believe...
So you think that's over? Do you think that's over?
Well, I think there is not case law that says he gets to continue his Fifth Amendment rights beyond that plea. I don't disagree with you.
His appellate rights?
He's going to pursue an appeal. I don't disagree.
All right, so what would make me think he does not still have Fifth Amendment rights?
There's case law directly on point.
I know, and some of those are indicated in the letter provided by the State Appellate Defender's Office, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. He is, I understand your position.
Shut it down, Judge.
I also understand, to a certain extent, I don't, even if he was called as a witness, you understand that then the prosecution would have a right to cross-examine him, right? So, I'm not keeping you from calling him. The law is keeping you from calling him. You are not permitted to put someone in front of this jury who is going to take the fifth.
I understand.
Yes.
That's the ruling then. That the law doesn't allow me to. Is that correct? Okay.
By smarter, higher courts than this one.
If that's the ruling, is that the court is going to follow the law the court said.
I'm going to follow the law.
Then I've preserved the record and I'm moving on.
Okay.
So then these statements are coming in. They've come in as present sense impressions.
Okay.
And I'm not using them at all for the truth of the matter asserted because I don't know whether he found the gun or didn't find the gun or was looking for the gun. But this statement shows his state of mind, so I believe it falls under the exception, saying he doesn't want to be caught because it will make him getting the gun impossible. So his state of mind is not wanting to get caught. And that's important impeachment to the testimony from the detective that he said he was going to get the gun.
Okay, so are you addressing that statement or also there's the I don't know where my dad hid it and there's a statement I have to find where my dad hid the 9mm.
The two hiding ones are one issue, and then the second issue is I don't want to be caught.
All right, and
that's it.
Okay, do you have any legal support for that? Just present sense impression.
And just straight impeachment rules.
Again, impeachment doesn't apply here. Impeachment is if a witness he didn't make the statement. I mean, that's not in dispute. It's not impeachment.
I can impeach through other witnesses. I can impeach by omission. I believe under straight impeachment rules, I can use this. This is being admitted as substantive evidence. So I can impeach with something written on a napkin.
Okay, but I guess what he's saying, and this came up too with regard to the privilege records.
Correct.
Which we'll talk about again. Who are you impeaching though?
I'm impeaching the shooter's statements that have been deemed substantive evidence. And I'm not given the option to impeach through the shooter, so I'm seeking to impeach through the officer in charge.
Okay, so why wouldn't I allow those statements, Mr. Keith?
It's not permissible. It's not under, and counsel has not cited the rule for that. It's not permissible. And I just want to inquire of the court if counsel is permitted to do that. Am I allowed then to ask about other passages?
Well, that's what I'm concerned about.
I mean, there are a number
How do they relate to this?
I mean, just in the first 2 pages alone, Judge, we have once they see the picture of the gun on Instagram, we'll know what's up. We have
all of these things, all these things with exception of the period of time that I was stayed by the Supreme Court, to me could have been addressed, you know, so this sort of doesn't feel like the time to be doing this. But.
Earlier in the trial, when I found that the court wanted to know what objections were going to be made, I stood up and said, I know this is going to be an issue, and the court said, we'll handle it down the road in trial. I made the court aware of that. That was on Monday or Tuesday, when there was some friction about another objection. I said, this is going to be coming, and the court said, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it.
Okay, because I guess my position is that we should have crossed that bridge before we impaneled a jury. That's just, you know,
Judge, we put the passages the court specifically ruled as admissible, nothing more.
Okay, but why would her request to allow those 3 passages because they're present sense impression?
Well, I don't necessarily agree there's present sense impression because there's certain requirements for present sense impression as well as state of mind. We can't be talking about a future plan. And there's you know, Brady, his friend is gone, he has no friends. My wrist hurts from writing in this, fucking book so much. I haven't felt generally happy in years. I can feel the evil around me, even dogs sense it. I mean, that's just on page 5.
That doesn't impeach, though, anything that I'm using, and the prosecution didn't seek to admit those things. I also didn't...
We've only admitted what specifically would be covered under the rules that the court permitted us to over a year ago.
Yeah.
We're not trying to push the envelope here because, as the court is, we don't want to inject any kind of error, Judge. So we kept this extremely close to what the court has specifically authorized.
Well, which provisions specifically do you say are present sense impression? I don't know that they are. You know, I don't know that they are. On page 788, I don't know where my dad hit it.
I'm finding the provision right now.
It's just, my concern is more along opening the door.
Yeah, that seems to be the theme.
I don't believe that what I'm asking is opening the door to all the texts coming in. I believe my impeachment is very limited. It's limited to 3 sentences.
Okay.
And then,
okay, you're operating under 803.
Under 803, let me just find
803.3 is then existing mental, emotional, or physical condition. Has to be then existing mental, emotional, or physical condition.
I think that's a then existing.
I have a headache. I feel sick. Right?
It also says such as intent, plan, motive, design, and so his plan to give puppy eyes or whatever. I mean, his plan to not give puppy eyes. I'm sorry. His plan to act in a way so he's not caught, I think, does fit under the rules. Because it talks about intent, plan, motive, design, mental, feeling, pain, or bodily health.
So here's the crux of the issue, is that for a year and a half, we had just those 5 or 6 portions admissible by the court. This trial was prepared from the prosecution standpoint with just those admissible because the court was very specific in its ruling. And so now defense is using that ruling as a sword and a shield. And so if the court wants to make a substantive ruling mid-trial, I think I'm entitled to at least admit it to.
Your Honor, I'm the one that filed the motion that brought this issue up. I filed an appeal with the Court of Appeals.
I'm aware.
Okay. I got their exhibits after trial started, identifying these portions of the journal.
Okay.
That after trial started.
You've had this journal as have I.
Absolutely.
For a long time.
I have, and that's why I filed an extensive motion about it. But now that they're using bits and pieces in trial,
We used only that was identified on June 27, 2022.
it shouldn't preclude me from impeaching.
Okay, but that's what I'm going back to. Who are you impeaching? What rule allows you to impeach someone who's not testifying?
It's complicated because I can't impeach the person that I want to impeach through testimony. So you're right. I'm hamstrung. My client has a constitutional right to present a defense, though.
I'm aware of that.
And I'm getting hamstrung and stuck because of other extraneous legal issues. This is straight impeachment. So what I'm providing is not going to be admitted as substantive evidence. It's impeachment.
So she's being hamstrung by her own motions to exclude. Her own motions to exclude. We didn't move to exclude any of this evidence. Counsel did after the preliminary examination. And this court was specific in its ruling.
Well, there should have been a motion to include as well as what they're saying.
There's no rule, there's no requirement for anybody, any party to have a motion to include, especially when counsel specifically identified this piece of evidence as being inadmissible. The court made the ruling.
Well, I guess I'm saying if you were in fear at all that this court would rule incorrectly, you would still have an opportunity to appeal that ruling.
And we didn't appeal the ruling. We didn't appeal.
Your Honor, I would have filed a motion if there was substantive information additionally that I wanted to admit. I've never filed a motion to have the ability to impeach. I'm asking to impeach. No one files motions to say, may I impeach this?
Because this is the third time during the trial.
There's motions in limine with regard. This journal is very disturbing, and every time any of us have read it, we've been up all night, right? So this has been a glaring thing in this trial. This isn't a middle of the trial type of game plan here.
Right. Just so the record, is clear, because I know the court's aware. We went through the Facebook messages detailing alcohol use. We talked yesterday in depth about the extramarital affairs that were previously excluded, and now the journal. This is the third time mid-trial. We just need the ground rules. The court gave us those ground rules a long time ago. We prepared a case in accordance with that. So if the door's open, the door's open.
Okay, well, that concerns me too. I'm going to take a brief recess.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, so you can step down.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You can't discuss your testimony with anyone.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. I'll be back. All right.
You may be seated. All right. I'll see you. Good night, son.
I'm literally speechless. No matter what, Shannon got her way, didn't she? She interrupted the witness. What's she popping? She's over there popping pills and shit. Did y'all see that? Tell me y'all saw that.
Yeah, I'm good.
Oh, prosecutor.
Get out. No, I'm good. My God, I'm getting work. Standing like that.
It's like,
Oh my God.
All right, they muted. Oh my goodness. This is really bad. She ultimately got her way. Did y'all see her popping them pills? It's not even 11 a.m. yet, you guys. These poor jurors. Somebody came in earlier and said that they called the court and they were directed to administration, and there they were able to lodge a complaint. So it's Oakland County Circuit Court in Pontiac. Pontiac, Michigan. So the judge even needed a 10-minute break because she doesn't know what to do. Shannon wants Ethan on the stand. I believe she said no. It's not even in her power to put Ethan on the stand. The judge doesn't have the right to violate Ethan's constitutional rights. Oh my God, the chicken bone people are back. Hear their truck? Yep, this is what I deal with. Listen, y'all can probably hear it. This is the chicken bone workers. They've been eating chicken wings and throwing their bones in my yard. Listen to this truck. And they just leave it running. Listen. I may have to shut the window. Listen. Oh, they actually turned it off. My bad. Making me a liar. Okay, so the complaint is on the judge, I guess. The person that was in chat said that. Kitten might be right. I know the judge is annoying as fuck, but I don't think we need to call the court and file grievances. We are just armchair quarterbacks. We don't know the law, and it's going to get cameras kicked out. You know what? Kitten, you might be right. Maybe we should just let things happen. We don't need 50 million people from J is for Justice calling the court. That's for damn sure. We're going to have shitty judges that we don't like, and we're going to have judges that we absolutely love and remember. They're just people, and it is what it is, right?
I don't know.
I mean, the world is watching, so. They don't need us. The world is watching. No, I already took care of the chicken bones yesterday. I'm just saying they're back. I thought they were done. But maybe they just show up to work at 11 a.m. Who knows? Hello, Amanda Egan from Scotland. Nice to see you. What time is it out there? Out there in Scotland. Mandy Joe, this trial is about accountability, and the judge is literally the epitome of not being accountable for the behavior in her courtroom. I agree. We are expert armchair crime experts, LOL. Yeah, let's not call the court. Let's just chill and let the chips fall where they will. I just feel like this should have been taken way more serious. Potato wants to know, what did someone call the court complaining about? I guess just the overall behavior of the judge is what they said. They said, like, no control over the courtroom and allowing people to talk over her and things like that. But I don't think that can be a formal complaint. I mean, there's people that file, like, Potato, shut up. She says it's the same time in Scotland as it is here. I didn't know that. Oh my God, did you guys hear my stomach growl? This antibiotic I'm on has me all messed up, man. Doug Heffernan. Oh, I just think she called the main number. She said she got transferred to administration. Mikey likes it. I first thought defense was acting so poorly just to make a case for appeal, but now she is blatantly trying to cause a mistrial with the latest antics. Yeah, I wish it was taken a lot more seriously. Yeah, they still have Lieutenant Timothy Willis. Oh yeah, so the antibiotics, like, it's weird because my stomach will growl, but I feel sick, you know? Like, I don't feel like eating. Oh my God. Okay. So these workers are getting out of their truck now. So I might have to shut my window. Yeah, I think that too. Whoever, I can't remember who said that, but I think that would get cameras kicked out and then we really won't see what happens. Because if you think about it, the judge and all the lawyers know that the world is watching. They know. So what's a simpler way to not have the public calling and complaining? Just take the cameras out. Then they won't see what's going on and they can't call and complain. I know. Quit hollering at me. Hi, Johnny. I guess it just depends what the judge decides. The judge went to go look at the law closer. Okay, now this dude's dropping F-bombs. It's literally right in my side yard. Can you hear him? He's mad at someone on the phone. Real professional. Throwing scraps in my yard. Yeah, I'm not. What one are you on, Globalism? This is doxycycline. I need some Shannon soup. Yeah, exactly, Cheryl. I think that we need to not call the court. Let's not do that. No one from here call the court because I don't want my name associated with it. Now trolls are probably going to call the court and say, Jays for Justice told me to. I probably just opened a fucking door, but whatever. If people don't have anything else to do, whatever. I am not encouraging any calls to the Oakland County Circuit Court. Just for the record, Your Honor. I'm putting this on the record, Your Honor. I'm on neighborhood watch for, I mean, I don't even have to be. They're in my yard, basically. I don't think my mic is going to pick them up, though, because I have a good mic. I have a good mic, thanks to Mike. I know, quit hollering at me. I'm just kidding. Do you think they'll get through this witness? Lieutenant Timothy Willis, he was a first responder. And if you missed earlier, they walked through the video of the actual shooting. And this man was in tears. You can't hear them. They get louder and they play music too. My dog's gonna bark at him soon. Bella makes it known that we don't like what they're doing. No, I have I have like an infected cyst. It's gross, but yeah. I thought they were done with the job over there, but they're just arriving for the day. They were here till fucking, excuse my language, but they were here till 9 o'clock. Now there's another neighbor asking for the guy's card. Do you guys do flooring? Yeah, they also throw chicken bones. I'd be arguing as a taxpaying resident of Oakland County. That gives you, I mean, if you're a resident of Oakland County, do what you want. No, they're not, Leslie. Yeah, Bella lets them know. She lets him get like to a certain point and then she lets him know she's here. It's funny. I'm just trying to wrap my mind around impeaching a witness that didn't even make the statement that she's trying to impeach. I know she does this for confusion. I think that is Shannon's tactics. I know, Quinny. It's just not something you really want to tell 400 people. But it is. I mean, I know, Decibel. I just have to be. Sometimes I just got to choose my battles. I mean, we do live close. We don't have big yards, and it is what it is. My dog's keeping him in check. They plant chickens in your yard. Always late. Can you give a last hour update? I can try. The last hour. Let's see. What did you miss? We walked through, I don't know if you saw that. So this witness walked through the actual shooting and recalled each victim. And they also went over their wounds, according to the autopsy report. Yeah, see, now this guy's going to start to irritate me. And thank you, Always Late, for your super chat. So they walked through that. And then they walked through the video, which had no audio, and we didn't see the video. They also showed Jennifer and Jennifer and frickin' James in handcuffs in the cash cab. It looked like they were in a cash cab, but they were really in the police car. And yelling for Patrick, which I will clip all of this, and I'll have a video of all the exhibitees at the end of the day. So as we watch this, I'm recording and getting videos ready for the end of the day. Quinny, don't tell me that, because I just turned 50 and I feel like everything changed. I need to order some groceries. I need to actually stop and order groceries. I don't have any more yogurt. John James. She wants to cut out the parts of the journal where Ethan said his parents would not help him, but she wants to keep the part where he's putting on puppy eyes to get a gun. Oh, that's what the puppy eyes was about. Let me show you. This guy's out here telling this guy about his money issues. Definitely gonna have to shut the fucking window. Let's go back to the cash cab part. So they showed parts of his journal as well.
So were there any
I mean, this kid literally wrote out everything he was going to do. If his mother would have looked at his journal when she found that he had an E, this was the contents of Ethan's journal as well. But if she would have read his journal when he got an E, went in his bag, that's what I used to do. If my kids were getting bad grades, I went in there. I do, W. I would go in their bag and be like, okay, let's see what the hell is going on. Get out all your work and let's go through this. I would go through their folders. If they were unorganized at that time, I would help them get organized and we would work to get back on track. She didn't, apparently, because when you see this paper, oh my gosh, where is it? That's the backpack. And then he has the actual journal right here. And then he wrote help on the very first page, this one here. It says, I have zero help, and it's huge, for my mental problems, and it's causing me to shoot up the fucking school. In all caps. And then there's something redacted. Or there's something redacted before, too. And he put help. If you glanced at this page, you would see help. Do you know what I mean? An E is failing. In Michigan, the grades go from A to E. So that's, I mean, if his mother would have looked at this and saw help, it would have grabbed her attention. And I think that's why he did it. I think he was hoping someone would look at that. Clindamycin. I hope you feel better, Global. So had she glanced at this, or James, one of them, they would have seen help and shoot up the fucking school. Yeah, I didn't read everything, but I mean, that's what I'm saying. She wouldn't have to read it. She could just glance at this and see the word help. And it would be quite obvious that she needs to read on, right? That would grab attention. I want to shoot up the fucking school so badly. Soon I'm going to buy a 9mm pistol. I'm about to shoot up the school and will spend the rest of my life in prison. A lot of this came out in Ethan's hearings. This one says...
What's an example of a large drawing?
First off, hold on.
Yes. Shooter writes, I'm about to shoot up the school and spend the rest of my life in prison.
Were there any journal entries about the shooter's access to the 9mm handgun?
There were.
This is also Exhibit 401.
Okay, so this one says, first off, I got my gun. It's a SP 2022 Sig Sauer 9mm. Second, the shooting is tomorrow. I have access to the gun and the ammo. Why would he write that unless he was wanting his parents to go down? This was methodically planned. I am fully committed to this now. So yeah, I'm going to prison for life, and many people have about 1 day left to live. He gave them one more chance to look in his bag, to find his journal. He didn't hide this journal. He didn't have it under his bed. He didn't have it hidden in his closet. He had it in the very backpack next to the gun. Did Ethan Crumbley think, I'm going to give him one last chance to care, to pay attention to me? I'm going to have this journal where I'm asking for help and I'm telling them exactly what I'm going to do. Because if they would have looked through his backpack to see, and this is, I think, a failure too. If you have a kid who drew a gun, wrote help me, the thoughts won't stop, and you're in a position of authority at a school, do you not look at the other pages that he may have in his possession? Because maybe his other pages of schoolwork might have other pictures drawn on them. You might find something a little more disturbing or a little more telling as to what's going on in this kid's life. So, Ethan, do you have any other papers in your backpack that you've drawn on? Yes or no? Would have been a simple question. And if he gave up the papers, all they'd have to do is read it and say, oh my God, this kid needs help right now.
One, also page 3. Could you read that, please?
Yes, sir. The shooter writes, first off, I got my gun. It's a SP 2022 Sig Sauer 9mm. Second, the shooting is tomorrow. I have access to the gun and the ammo. I am fully committed to this now. So yeah, I'm going to prison for life, and many people have about 1 day left to live.
Thank you, sir.
He couldn't have been more clear. If they would have read it on November 30th, listen to these clowns. If they would have read this on November 30th, when they were called down to the office, they would have known that he planned to do this that day. We're still on a break. The judge is still... Thanks, guys. I'm glad you agree. I just feel like had they looked, you know? Why wouldn't the school, this is what really gets me, is like I picture myself being a teacher or a counselor or a dean of students. I don't care who you are. Teacher's aide, lunch lady. I don't care. Volunteer parent. You see that worksheet. Are you not going to think maybe there's more? Like, why didn't they think there was more where this worksheet came from? Because we just found out there was not only more, there was 55 more. There were 55 more drawings of guns in his backpack. Let that sink in. Lieutenant Timothy Willis just testified that there were 50 more drawings in Ethan Crumbley's backpack of a firearm. And I thought schools were like zero tolerance. I thought they were zero tolerance. I just don't know why no one had common sense. Like, if your kid has a piece of paper from school that has something disturbing they drew on it, is your common sense not going to tell you to look at his other shit? To see if there's more clues as to what's going on with this kid? I just don't get it. He was in front of their face. All they had to do was say, how long have you been drawing these? And I get it. He said, oh, I want to design video games. But come on, people, we can't be that naive. We don't know who his target was for that, Meg. She's never been named, and I hope she's never named. She's redacted. But it was someone who lived close to him. I don't think it was any of the victims. Because he had to walk over to her house. He was going to walk over to her house and kidnap her from her house. He had it all written out. He was in his shed killing baby birds like Jeffrey Dahmer. He's like a Jeffrey Dahmer type. There's no fixing Ethan.
Your mom's right.
Jeffrey Dahmer kind.
There's no fixing Ethan. But that still doesn't leave Jonathan off the hook. Why didn't the dean check his bag right? Because they all deemed him no threat, because they're idiots. They're idiots. And it's not even about training. I really feel it's about common sense and taking time. These administrators of schools, these people that work for schools don't take time. I don't want any excuses. I've seen it. I've had 3 children go through the public school system. They don't take time. Few and far between, you'll get a good teacher who takes time. Most of them don't. They're underpaid. They've got too many students, yada, yada, yada. But they don't take time. Why no ISS in Michigan? Is that in-school suspension? No idea. I had in-school suspension when I was in high school in Romeo High. They got rid of it? Probably because they don't have staff to man it. They have to have teachers to stay after that want to man these in-school suspensions. And the teachers are probably like, fuck that. Let their parents do that shit. And I'm not against that. I mean, why would a teacher want to stay after for peanuts pay because parents can't discipline their kids at home? I agree with Miss Robin. What's up, Miss Robin? Good to see you. Good to see you. Look at her cutie kitty. Remy. Is that Remy? I mean, common sense. I just feel like it's a money issue. They don't have the money to pay the staff enough for them to be enticed to sit there during school or after school hours to deal with delinquent kids. I mean, if I'm a teacher, I don't want to be there after school dealing with delinquent kids. I'm not there to discipline. I'm there to teach. So that's probably why. And Potato's right, 100%. If as a parent you want to have guns, you have to be responsible. And for anyone else in the house who could get their hands on them, doesn't matter who it is. Let's take this to a different level. Let's do a hypothetical. Let's say your brother comes over and you have a gun in the drawer in your bedroom. And your brother grabs the gun and you don't realize that he grabbed the gun, and he goes and robs a store and shoots somebody. Do you think, as the registered gun owner, you're not going to be held responsible? Oh, yes, sir, you will. Because the law says you have to have that gun locked up, right? People think if they don't have little kids, they don't have to lock up their guns. That's wrong. I still think you can get in trouble. Right. ISS is in school suspension, which means you're at school after school hours. You still have to go to your regular classes. In school suspension, you don't get out of your regular classes, right? We had Saturday school. Yeah, it was COVID. Nothing was running correctly. They had just gone back to school. ISS is during the school day? Oh, I don't see the point of that. I thought you meant like after school detention. Why would you need to have a different classroom for delinquent kids? Just to separate them? Put them all together and make them get in more trouble? I think that's a bad idea. The more you segregate and separate kids, the bigger the problem gets. Why would you want to isolate them away from the general pop? Isn't that just like a mini prison mentality? Yuck, I don't like that. I'm glad they don't do that. I don't like the thought of that. Kids need to learn to work around other kids, and they need to learn to get along and be in the same class. Isolation rooms? Weird. I wouldn't want my kid put in no isolation room. That's prison-like. Yuck. No wonder we all hate school and kids hate school. Scotty Skulls. What's your question? Let me scroll back here. If the school's professionals who have degrees in training deemed him not a threat, aren't culpable, why should she? Just a question. I don't know, Scott. I guess because they're mandatory reporters and they were wrong. I don't know. That's weird, Potato. I don't like that. Yeah, there was an alternative high school in my town too, and it was labeled where all the dropouts went, and I don't think that's fair. Stacy just dropped off an Instacart order for an Ethan. I would say that in-school suspension where they're supervised all day is for someone who's a disciplinary problem. Ethan wasn't a disciplinary problem. That's why we have to
So far.
Oh my God, what the hell was that? God almighty. I guess they're coming back. Let me turn this down because that really hurt my ears. I just feel like we have to get better at identifying kids like Ethan. They're not your typical delinquent. They're not the ones that are getting in trouble left and right. They're the quiet ones. They're the ones that scathe by. They're the ones that don't get in trouble when they do these things because they're quiet and they've never been a problem. Those are the ones we have to get better at identifying, in my opinion. We think of the typical juvenile delinquent as the one that's caught smoking and drinking and partying or doing stupid shit. This is different to me. I mean, okay, so wait, here's food for thought. Real quick, here's food for thought. The counselor said, "Oh, I thought he'd be better off around peers." No, not someone who doesn't have friends. Ethan didn't have any friends, so taking him around his peers was not the right thing. And then this mother failed to say that he got in trouble the night before, and she hit 2 of his trigger points: no gun range and no phone. So let that sink in. Oh, they just zoomed in on her big old butt. Jenny's got a big old butt. Oh, yeah.
Your Honor, calling people urgent for Crumbley, case number 222799990.
Freak, people.
Hey, Marquise and bad people.
My God.
Okay, so I'm going to have a couple questions for you. This is certainly one of the kind of things that you want to spend some time on. Initially, I want to point out that you have said you want a statement. However, I do not want to be caught, as that will make me getting the 9mm impossible. That's what you said you want. Okay, here's the problem with that. It might be a future plan, but this isn't a future plan not to get caught planning to shoot up the school. This is a future plan with regard to Jeffrey, right? Which is discussed extensively prior to this, right? Jeffrey, Jeffrey would be the bird and the bird head.
Oh.
Right? So.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So there's.
That would open the door. Okay, I see what you're saying.
Yeah. So.
And of course I would ask.
I do not want to be caught, as that will make me getting the 9mm impossible. He's talking about getting caught with the bird head in a jar and the terrible things he did to baby birds. So I'm pretty sure that you do not want that to come in.
Right, I don't want the baby birds to come in.
Okay.
I thought when he said I don't want to be caught, it was being caught, like having mental problems, being caught with the birds.
Because she hasn't read it.
Any of the stuff he's been doing.
She hasn't read it.
I didn't take it to be the bird, but I see what the court's saying. You're right. If that opens the door to the bird, then I don't want to open the door to the bird.
There's an extensive discussion prior to that with a picture and about him dumping the bird's head in a bathroom. And I hope people will talk about it for the rest of the day because I want the attention. However, I do not want to be caught, as that will make me getting the 9mm impossible. He's not talking about getting caught with the plan to shoot up the school. He's talking about getting caught with putting the bird head in the bathroom and hurting the birds. So I think it's pretty safe to assume that you do not want that statement.
That's correct, Your Honor.
Okay, I know I'm going to regret this. I'm going to let you respond to this, but I also wonder. You say you want his statements. I have to find where my dad hid the 9mm, and I don't know where my dad hid it. It's hard for me to understand what that impeaches because we just saw a video where Mr. Crumbley is telling Mrs. Crumbley. She asks him specifically where was the gun, and he says, "I put it in the dresser." Right?
That's the other gun. That's the other 2 guns.
Okay.
No, it's not.
There's also statements to the police about
right.
Where
she didn't read any of this
on the video to one of the
Impeach
police
Shannon.
officers
Yes, sir.
about where it was. Was that the armware one?
Yeah, where she hit the bullets, Judge, yeah.
Oh my
No,
God.
she hid the bullets in the drawer with her jeans.
He.
Oh
Okay,
my
but
God.
Isn't there other statements in this trial about where the SIG was?
Yes, Judge. And it's
Hid.
lots of different statements. That's part of their
Hidden.
part of the case.
It
There's
says
a
it was
French
hidden.
called Les Incompetents.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So anyway, the bird, Jeffrey's staying out of this.
Yeah, I agree
Okay.
with that.
All right.
And I misread that. I did not.
Okay. Well, it's hard to read, So anyway, what else do you want to say about this?
Judge, this is the people's issue here, is that well over a year ago, this issue, as well as a number of other issues that have been addressed the last few days, have been settled. It was June 27th of 22. It was appealed. The application to the Court of Appeals was filed on July the 18th of 2022. This is a pattern now that appears to be part of counsel's strategy. That's fine, but the people should be entitled to now prepare accordingly. So counsel has promised the jury that Jennifer Crumbley is going to testify. That's significant because that entire Facebook thread has come in. That's over 2,000 pages. I know from my memory there are a number of messages that will be very important in cross-examination. But because it's been sprung up mid-trial at the request for an unredacted copy of that, I want time to go through that before the defendant takes the stand so I can have every passage ready.
I'm sorry, I don't understand. You want to go through what?
The Facebook thread between
Okay.
Jennifer and James Crumbley.
Okay.
Your Honor, the prosecution moved to admit the whole thing. I have no objection. I'm ready to go with it.
Okay,
They moved to admit the whole
okay,
thing
wait.
in front of the jury. Now he's saying he's not ready for
Wait a
it.
minute. Am I missing something? I'm talking about the journal right now.
Yes, this is the pattern, Judge, the pattern of strategy. And again, counsel's entitled to her own strategy.
Right.
However, we are entitled to prepare our witnesses accordingly, including the cross-examination of the defense witnesses. We responded to the defendant's motions with the journal in particular with a select number of passages that firmly fit within the instructions provided by this court.
And that was in response to her motion, wasn't it?
Yes, Judge, and it's the court's order, not the defendant's order. So we're following the court's order when we prepare for trial. Again, if counsel wants to reverse course mid-trial as part of our strategy, that's her decision. But we need to have the time to prepare. So I'm asking for the court to give us the time to go through that Facebook thread, as the court gave defense counsel time to go through statements of her own client's statements before Mr. Meloche testified.
Okay. You guys have gone off into Never Never Land here. I want to address the journal and then finish the lieutenant's testimony. I also want to make the sealed record during the time period that the jury is eating lunch. So at this moment, I'm going to indicate that I am very concerned about the journal. The journal is extremely disturbing in many, many, many ways. And I do not want to risk the door being open. But more importantly, these statements, I have to find where my dad hid the 9mm and I don't know where my dad hid it. I don't know if that it impeaches anything in this case, because there's already been plenty of evidence that he found it, right? There's evidence the shooter found the gun, right? And there have been statements made by both the defendant and her husband to police in text, whatever it is, indicating that the gun was hidden in some way, obviously very poorly. But the gun was hidden in some way. The gun, as far as we know, was not sitting on the kitchen table. So I don't think this impeaches anything. I don't think it's contradictory. More importantly, I don't think under any circumstances any more of this journal should come in. And in the event that it was going to come in, I think that it should have been handled prior to the jury trial. I am trying to very much protect any potential appellate record, and I do not want to delve into this journal. I think that would do nothing more than hurt Mrs. Crumbley severely. It's highly prejudicial. So that's my ruling about the journal. If you have other issues you'd like to bring up, I'd appreciate if we did that when the jury's at lunch after we get the sealed record. Okay?
That's fine. If we can finish.
Okay.
it.
Let's finish it. Okay. Okay, their lunch arrived, so they are eating it. Okay. Lieutenant, I'm going to indicate that you should not discuss your testimony with anyone because you're in the middle of your testimony.
Yes,
all right. So you can step down.
Okay.
I'm going to have. When did they start eating there? 2 minutes ago. So I'm going to indicate that they should be prepared to come back and hear testimony at 12:30. All right. In the meantime, you can step down.
Yes,
step down.
sorry, Judge.
As I indicated to both of the attorneys as well, I think I sent had my assistant send an email. Yes, yeah. I think my assistant sent an early morning email to you about making the sealed record pursuant to Michigan Code Rule 8.119. Correct?
Yes.
It'll be brief. It'll be brief.
Yes.
All right. So because of that, I'm going to exclude everyone but the parties. We're going to do that briefly. Then I'm going to allow Ms. Crumbley to go downstairs and eat her lunch, and we're going to break until 12:30.
Just before we go off the record, I just wanted to complete the record that we were speaking.
Okay, go ahead.
So we've gone through this. I don't want to belabor the point. The issue that the people have is that it appears that counsel is trying to usurp the court's order without notice to the people, and that makes it impossible.
Let's start over with this issue because I was talking about the journal and then
Yes,
you started
Judge,
telling me. So start over. Okay.
Thank you, Judge. The journal appears to be a pattern of strategy, which is without notice, mid-witness, shifting from what the court has already ordered to what counsel chooses to be convenient. And again, if that's trial strategy, that's trial strategy. But we have the court's order, not the defendant's order. And I don't believe it is appropriate for any party to usurp a court's order. And I also don't think it's appropriate that the people will have to respond off the cuff. I want to make sure that our witnesses are prepared.
Okay.
I want to make sure the materials necessary for cross-examination are prepared as well.
So the issue right now is the numerous Facebook communications between Mrs. Crumbley and Mr. Crumbley. That's the issue. That came in.
And Your Honor,
that's the piece of evidence.
Okay.
Within that piece of evidence, there are a number of issues to explore.
Okay.
Within that piece of evidence, it includes items that defense counsel had previously sought to exclude, and this court did in fact exclude. So that was the discussion that we had when Mrs. Crumbley was placed on the record, and she said under oath that it was her decision upon consultation with her attorney, knowing that we could cross-examine. I just want to make sure that people are given the opportunity to review all of those 2,000 messages or 2,000 pages of messages appropriately before that cross-examination begins.
Your Honor, I just want to point out that the prosecution moved to admit the entire thing in front of the jury. So I believe if I objected, it would look like Mrs. Crumbley is hiding materials, and we've taken the trial strategy actually based on their trial strategy, bring it all in.
Okay.
And so when Mr. Keese...
It was a redacted copy.
Okay, I don't understand why we're he's taking a trip down memory lane. The whole thing came in already.
Right, it came in, but I'm saying he asked for it. That was days ago, and I'll tell you what.
And then you agreed to it.
I did, and since that time, I've read the whole thing, and I'm ready to go with it. What he's saying is that he's not ready to go with it, even though he moved to admit it, and even though it was days ago that he moved to admit it.
Just to correct the record, we moved for a redacted copy and for counsel to specify exactly what portions were redacted in accordance with your order,
and
Judge.
the next day I got back to them, which was days ago, and I said...
Keep your voice down because the walls are paper thin and the jury can hear you.
I got back to them the day after, and I said... we're not asking for any redactions. They said, fine. We made a record with Mrs. Crumbley. No redactions.
Okay, when is this going to come up anyway? How far are we going to get after Lieutenant Willis?
I guess it depends on how often this comes up. And this is why I bring it to the court's attention that...
This will come up when Mrs. Crumbley testifies, if she does, right?
Certainly.
Okay, is that the only time?
Well, I brought up the pattern to the court's attention because it does appear to be a pattern. The only reason I bring it to the court's attention now and our objection to that is because it appears to be a continual theme. So I want to bring it to the court's attention now, and I want a record made of it. That's why I bring it up now.
Okay, well, you can't admit something and then unadmit something. There's no court rule that says you can do that, right? Okay.
No, it's the redacted portions. It's the portions within that would have been inadmissible prior to.
Yeah, I get it.
Okay.
Yeah.
We said
We're letting it all hang out.
We're letting it all hang out.
Okay.
I don't want any redactions because I think it makes it. Mr. Keast has made it look like if we put redactions in there, we're hiding stuff.
Bring
So
it
I don't
all
want
in.
it.
Talking about this.
We
The
shouldn't
whole
be.
record came in. It is in evidence. It is fair game. Okay? All right. That's
You're
what we're doing.
With respect to the sealed record, I just
Bring it all in.
Meetings.
Okay. Well, you probably are, but I'm going to make a record of those because privileged, there are privileged conversations between the shooter and a therapist in those pleadings.
Bring it all in.
I'm going to make a record about that is sealed because I am. So, all right. So,
Are they all going?
yeah, I'm throwing everybody out. So.
Recording stopped.
Bring it
This
all
will be on
in.
the record.
Oh yes. This is.
Now we've got the lawn cutting going on. I'm going to have to shut my window. What is going on? How long are we breaking for and why? I missed that. How long are we breaking for and why? So she just said, bring it all in.
Bring it all in.
I clipped that. No, I clipped it. Yeah, it's a soundbite. For 45 minutes? Now it's lunch? All right, let's rewatch. I didn't realize it was lunch. Let me rewind. Oh my God, the mower. I cannot. Oh, today. Figures are in my yard right now. Okay, let's watch this part again.
I appreciate
There's Judge Les
What the
Incompetents.
French call les incompétents.
We did that when the jury's at lunch after we did the sealed record.
That's
Okay?
fine. If we can finish
Okay,
it.
let's finish them. Okay. Okay, their lunch arrived, so they're eating it. Okay. Lieutenant, I'm going to indicate that you should not discuss your testimony with anyone because you're in the middle of your testimony.
Yes,
all right. So you can step down.
Okay.
I'm going to have
None of her last
Linda
words.
studying 2 minutes ago. So I'm going to indicate that they should be prepared to come back and hear testimony at 12:30. All right. In the meantime, you can step down. You can
Yes,
step down.
I'm sorry, Judge.
As I indicated to both of the attorneys as well, I think I sent had my assistant send an email. Yes, yeah. I think my assistant sent an early morning email to you about making a sealed record pursuant to Michigan Code Rule 8.119. Correct?
Yes.
It'll be brief. It'll be brief.
Yes.
All right. So because of that, I'm going to exclude everyone but the parties. We're going to do that briefly, then I'm going to allow Ms. Crumbley to go downstairs and eat her lunch, and we're going to break until 12:30.
Just before we go off the record, I just wanted to complete the record that we were speaking.
Okay, go ahead.
So we've gone through this. I don't want to belabor the point. The issue that the people have is that it appears that counsel is trying to usurp the court's order without notice to the people, and that makes it impossible.
Okay, let's start over with this issue because I was talking about the journal and then
Yes,
you started
Judge,
telling me.
it's-
So start over. Okay.
Thank you, Judge. The journal appears to be a pattern of strategy, which is without notice, mid-witness, shifting from what the court has already ordered to what counsel chooses to be convenient. And again, if that's trial strategy, that's trial strategy. But we have the court's order, not the defendant's order. And I don't believe it is appropriate for any party to usurp a court's order. And I also don't think it's appropriate that the people will have to respond off the cuff. I want to make sure that our witnesses are prepared.
Okay.
I want to make sure the materials necessary for cross-examination are prepared as well.
Okay, so the issue right now is the numerous Facebook communications between Mrs. Crumbley and Mr. Crumbley. That's the issue that came in.
And Your
that's
Honor,
the piece of evidence.
Okay.
Within that piece of evidence, there are a number of issues to explore.
Okay.
Within that piece of evidence, it includes items that defense counsel had previously sought to exclude, and this court did in fact exclude. So that was the discussion that we had when Mrs. Crumbley was placed on the record, and she said under oath that it was her decision upon consultation with her attorney, knowing that we could cross-examine. I just want to make sure that people are given the opportunity to review all of those 2,000 messages or 2,000 pages of messages appropriately before that cross-examination begins.
Your Honor, I just want to point out that the prosecution moved to admit the entire thing in front of the jury. So I believe if I objected, it would look like Mrs. Crumbley is hiding materials, and we've taken the trial strategy actually based on their trial strategy, bring it all in.
Okay.
And so when Mr. Keese...
It was a redacted copy.
Okay, I don't understand why we're he's taking a trip down memory lane. The whole thing came in already.
Right, it came in, but I'm saying he asked for it. That was days ago, and I'll tell you what.
And then you agreed to it.
I did, and since that time, I've read the whole thing, and I'm ready to go with it. What he's saying is that he's not ready to go with it, even though he moved to admit it, and even though it was days ago that he moved to admit it.
Just to correct the record, we moved for a redacted copy and for counsel to specify exactly what portion is redacted in accordance with your order,
and
Judge.
the next day I got back to them, which was days ago, and I said...
Keep your voice down because the walls are paper thin and the jury can hear you.
I got back to them the day after, and I said... we're not asking for any redactions. They said fine. We made a record with Mrs. Crumbley, no redactions.
Okay, when is this going to come up anyway? How far are we going to get after Lieutenant Willis?
I guess it depends on how often this comes up, and this is why I bring it to the court's attention. That
this will come up when Mrs. Crumbley testifies, if she does. Right?
Certainly.
Okay, is that the only time?
Well, I brought up the pattern to the court's attention because it does appear to be a pattern. The only reason I bring it to the court's attention now and our objection to that is because it appears to be a continual theme. So I want to bring it to the court's attention now, and I want a record made of it. That's why I bring it up now.
Okay, well, you can't admit something and then unadmit something. There's no court rule that says you can do that, right? Okay.
No, it's the redacted portions. It's the portions within that would have been inadmissible prior to.
Yeah, I get it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we said we still.
We're letting it all hang out.
We're letting it all hang out.
Okay.
I don't want any redactions because I think it makes it. Mr. Keast has made it look like if we put redactions in there, we're hiding stuff.
I don't know why we're talking about this.
We shouldn't
the whole
be.
record came in. It is in evidence. It is fair game. Okay. All right. That's what we're doing.
With respect to the sealed record, I just like to rely on my written pleadings.
Okay. Well, you probably are, but I'm going to make a record of those because privileged. There are privileged conversations between the shooter and a therapist in those pleadings, and I'm going to make a record about that is sealed because I am. So, all right. So, yeah, I'm throwing everybody out. So.
Recording stopped.
But this will be on the record.
Oh yes. This is.
Okay, so that's how it ended. And just to be clear, there was no trial with Nasser. Is the screen messing up? It should clear up if it does that. I don't know why it does that. It's not telling me there's a problem. It's so weird. Let me try something else. Maybe this will help. Did it like, what did it do? Like get all bejumbled? Is it all bejumbled? I just made that word up. It's really glitched. Is it better now? Let me open my phone and take a look. I can always open up a new stream. Let me see. Is it all bejumbled? Oh, it is all bejumbled. It's really That's so weird. I'm looking at it right now. Hold on. Yeah, Shannon did have a stent in her esophagus. Oh, it's all jacked up. Okay, hold on. Let's fix this problem. We're going back to the 80s, guys. Well, at least it happened when we were on a break, right? At least it happened when we were on a break. Let me fix this. Let's try this. Now you guys, I'm going to see what it looks like. Hello, beach lover. Welcome back. Or welcome to the stream, rather. No, it's not the camera. I don't think it is. I'm just waiting for this to pop up. Is it better? Incognito says, we do have cameras in court, especially the high crime trials, but you would never see this in Scotland. Oh, it happened again. Didn't it? It happened again. Oh, it's been doing it on and off all day? Okay. Let's do this then, folks. Jay's got a solution. Don't worry, don't worry. I will never leave you hanging during an important time in our trial watching. Do not fret. We will fix this fix this issue. This is day number 6, right? Be jumbled. Thank you so much, Flo, for your support. I have a solution to our problem. Thank you so much, Flo. How you getting around now? You getting your moving and shaking back at this point? At this juncture? We're going to do an afternoon stream. I'm just getting that set up. So we'll have an AM stream for today, and then we will have a PM stream for today. And I will get you guys the link, so you don't have to do anything but stay in this chat. And when I put the link into the chat room, all you've got to do is click it. So this time I'm going to try to put some closed captions. Let's see if we can do that. We've got some closed captions. All right, there we go. I'm going to give you guys the link right now, and you guys can just scoot on over to the other live and start chatting. Chatting away. And I will see you over there. I'm going to end this live, and I will see you guys in the other one. Again, here is that link. And remember, the walls are paper thin, so be quiet as you walk down the hallway to the other room. Use your inside voices, please, like Judge Matthews. Well, hopefully we can fix that, Robin. Head on over to the other chat, and I'll see you guys over there. I'll be live. Give me a minute to change a couple settings, and yeah, cash cab over to the other stream.
Where do you think you're going? Nobody's leaving. Nobody's walking out on this fun old-fashioned family Christmas. No, no, we're all in this together.
Be sure to check out my other videos and playlists for more true crime content. And if that's not enough, you can join our Patreon. Don't have a tinfoil hat? It's okay. We'll make you one. It's that easy. See you guys in the next one.